that besides Mort having some creative explosion at the last minute and sending in, a half a dozen pictures that we have to get ready because they all are relevant to what we're doing today. We're tweaking the equipment a little bit, as we always do, but we hope to solve that problem in the very near future. Hi, Tom Trento here, TrentoVision.tv. On the TV side, that's me. I didn't shut that thing off, did I? No, I don't think I did. There we go. I don't see anything there. And on the radio side, WNN 1470 on your AM dial. We are good there. What about Tea Party Community? I want to say hello to them. I'm getting a lot of friend requests and emails. Are we on teapartycommunity.com? Ask him. Or somebody check it out, teapartycommunity.com. It is 3 minutes and 1 minute. That makes it 4 minutes past 3 o'clock. We're going to tell time differently from now on to equip everyone to the new math. And it's a warm 76 degrees inside our Beasley Broadcasting Corporation studio here on the 55th floor of the Beasley Tower, overlooking the ocean, and we can see the Rocky Mountains too from where we are. When I lived in Denver, Colorado, you would orient yourself by looking at the mountains to know which direction you were going. Can anybody tell me which direction the mountains are if you're in the city of Denver? We have a west. You got three more. You got 1 out of 4 possibilities. Is that yours? What is your guess?
I'm sorry.
If you're in Denver, I think you were born in Denver, and you see the mountains, which direction are you looking? Who knows that? 888-565-1470. There's only 4 choices. Okay, you're stunned. How about you, lady?
Denver?
Oh, you're looking it up? No, that's for you. What?
If you're in Denver.
If you're in Denver, you're looking at the Rocky Mountains. Which direction are the Rocky Mountains from Denver?
Denver, north.
Okay, we got a north, we got a west. You got
Joe says south.
south. Joe's pointing south. Down. What's down mean? Audio or?
You're in the mountains, aren't you?
No.
No?
Denver is not in the mountains. Denver's at 5,280 feet. Actually, on the step of the state capitol, there's a step that says this is 5,280 feet, but you're not in the mountains at Denver. In Denver, they're not. Denver is not in the mountains. Denver's on a plateau.
Plateau.
But if you drive to Joe's wrong with south. You're wrong with a stunned look. You're wrong with no.
North.
Oh, you said north. That's right. But that guy wins over there. It's to the west. And you first come to the foothills.
Go left, young man.
Yeah, you come to the foothills, which are what? Baby mountains. Those are little mountains, and then you go up in those big suckers, man. 14,000-foot mountains. A little spooky driving on those things in the snow, let me tell you. And the edge is right there. But it's a beautiful, beautiful city, Denver, Colorado. And why am I even talking about Denver? How did we get on that?
Yes, why are you talking
How
about
do we get on Denver, Colorado?
Orchestra review.
Oh, you orient yourself in Denver by looking at the mountains, and you can tell which direction you're going. Here you have to look at the ocean, which is a little hard to do sometimes because it's sea
that's
level.
some
Yeah.
pricey real estate.
Yeah, it's hard to see the ocean. But for those of you who are snowbirds, we welcome you to Florida. You're with Tom Trento, CJ, Mike, Mark. Actually, no Mark today. He's on assignment. And did you send me the Greta thing? Okay. And we thank you for coming to our state. We ask you to absolutely drain your bank account while you are here so that we never have to pay state taxes. We appreciate that. And we will put up with waiting in line at every deli and every restaurant in South Florida, as long as we don't have to pay state income taxes. More and more people seem to be moving here for that reason, particularly those who have money. But no, we welcome you to South Florida. Been a little chilly lately, but we have a warm show. Today is, what kind of day is today?
President.
Yes, President's Day. That's why I went to a restaurant with a friend earlier, and the place was packed out. I'm going, what's going on here? The highways are busy. Everybody's scurrying about in South Florida on President's Day.
Furniture sales.
So, in the furniture sales and all the sales. But we will we will honor President's Day by opening up the phone lines for our viewers and our listeners, because when you're watching, you can also call, and you're listening, you can also call. We'll open up the phone lines for our 3 hours, probably around 3:30 or so. We got a little bit of business to take care of. If you want to get in on the call, 888-565-1470. Today is designed on President's Day to recognize President Obama's absolute and unadulterated failures as the President of the United States of America, because we believe that if a day is set aside to recognize the President, we ought to do that, right, CJ?
Absolutely.
So we will recognize the President, and you can go to Hardball with Chris Matthews, who doesn't seem to like me. Or us.
Put it on drive.
Okay, I'll do that. Let me see if this thing's, we're there. You can go there, or you can go to Salon, or you can go to any of those places and listen to how they fawn over and worship President Obama,
The Messiah.
the Messiah, with a capital M. You can do that at those places. You can even go to the paper of record, the gray, what do they call it? The Gray Lady?
Yes.
The New York Schleims over there, New York Times.
The New York Slimes.
Yeah, New York Slimes. You can go to all the MSM, mainstream media outlets, to hear the, or you can just go to whitehouse.com and read the talking points that the news outlets report on the wonder of the president. But here we will give you the unadulterated behind-the-scenes story of the failures of this president on an economic basis, on a, the gas is a little bit expensive right now, isn't it, basis.
Yes.
$4 for regular gas today.
Well,
$3.99.99.
That's because there's no election this month.
Oh, that's right. Oh, see how that works.
Yeah.
Um,
Slick.
On national security, failure. We won 2 wars. We'll go through that. But these 3 hours are dedicated to learning something about President's Day, and then learning quite a bit about this president. We're going to take a look at his childhood. We're going to take a look at his Weltanschauung, for you Germans. Weltanschauung. His world view. What he... I had it here.
It's running fine.
Yeah, I was good and just went off. But all of this will be solved in a couple of days. But in any event, we'll try to solve it today. So we're going to look at his childhood, his education. But what we need, our main question, we're going to allow our viewers, our listeners to air out your complaints, air out your beliefs, your thoughts. We want to know what you think about President Obama. And, we do have the other side that listens. We have a bunch of liberal people that watch, that love Obama. Feel free to call in and
express your adulation.
Yes, just don't make it too wet and sloppy in here, okay? But we'll deal with that. And we believe, that we believe here at Trento Vision, particularly on national security issues, that this president has failed miserably. He is truly unfit to serve as the commander-in-chief. And if you didn't think so, if you don't think so, what is that? What are you showing me?
I'm showing you we have a call.
Oh, if you don't think so, he selected Chuck Hagel, former senator from Nebraska. And then since he left office, he's traveling around the world giving speeches, but he won't tell us where he was giving those speeches. He won't tell us to whom he was giving those speeches, and he won't tell us how much he made giving those speeches, and he doesn't have to. But if he wants to run the only superpower military in the world, that's the kind of transparency we would expect, Mr. Obama. He made a comment the other day on Google Nation or something the president did. He said, no bagels, Hagel. That's pretty good. No bagels, Hagel. That's pretty good. He made a comment. He was on Google Nation, I think they call it, which must be some kind of hip chat room, video chat room. The president was there, and he said, now, I don't know if if I'm overstating the issue because he's not really a friend of mine, or if it was just prima facie absurd, his statement. But let me tell you what he said. You guys tell me what you think. President Obama said, "I have run the most transparent presidency in the history of the presidencies, and I can prove it to you."
I can prove it.
And I can prove it to you. Anybody see sort of a non sequitur there?
Yeah. Well, define transparent.
Well, why would you have to prove something that's
Define
transparent?
transparent.
You know? So we have a little problem, I think, on the president's understanding of transparent. If I have to prove something is transparent, then I have de facto failed at being sufficiently transparent. But we are dealing. Do you have the low information voters piece? Okay. But we are dealing on the Democrat side with low information voters. Anyone hear that term lately?
Yeah, a lot.
What does that mean? Who can tell me what low information, 888-565-1470, low information voters. Some senator, somebody used it a while back, and I believe it's making the talk show circuits now. A lot of the talk show hosts are using it.
They used to be called independents and undecideds, and now they're low information voters.
Does that mean?
That means they don't know no stuff.
They don't know. They're dumb.
No, they're not dumb. They're ignorant.
Okay. What would be the difference between dumb and ignorant?
Well, dumb is you can't speak.
Okay, and ignorant is you can't
don't know
think.
no stuff.
You can't think. Okay.
No, you can think if
somewhere
you're
between dumb and
ignorant. It just means you don't know anything.
Okay.
I think what you're talking about is stupid.
Oh, stupid.
Yes.
Are any?
But you could be informed and stupid at the same time.
Oh, okay. Well, so do we have that little piece? We'll show that in a little bit. We have a little piece for you that Saturday Night Live did on they did it before the election on the independent voters, and it really fits into the low information voters, and we believe that President Obama. Two reasons why President Obama on this President's Day is where he is today, initiating his second ruling for years because many good people chose to sit this one out. So that's an error on our part. Many very serious Christians felt that they didn't have to make it to the polls, and that's just immoral, in my opinion. And number two, that there are a lot of dumb people out there that simply wanted to get something for free, and their best chance was this guy providing free stuff for them. So you put those two factors together, and we got to live with this guy for 4 years. And
Do you think we'll make it?
I don't know whether or not America can sustain that, or whether or not the world can. But let's see what our first caller thinks. The question today is, what do you think about President Obama on President's Day? Do you have something good or something negative to say? Call us and share it. 888-565-1470. Who do we have first?
And up first, we have Alexander on the line.
Hi, Alexander. You're with Tom and CJ.
Hello. I'm calling from San Francisco. And I think that this President Day is the most sad President Day during the entire history of this nation. To begin with, I don't think that it is a president, it's a resident in the White House.
Oh, a resident instead of a president? Oh, that's pretty good. Okay.
Whom we have now in the White House. And for many reasons. And first of all, do you know what is his certified name? Obama, Soetoro, Soberkach, or even Bonnell, which was just recently discovered. He uses the social security number of some person, Jewish person from Russia, who was born in 1890. And due to family links and family occupation, grandparents of Michelle Obama, they provided him with this false social security number.
So he has. So Alex, let me ask you a question. He has. So you think he's a resident, not a president, and so your concern. One of your concerns is I've seen some writings about he's got 42 different social security numbers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he is the president, though. So what is your critique about him? The way he governs, his policies, the stuff that hits the street today and is affecting people?
Well, almost everything. Any of his actions, which were done during the last 4 years, are or explicitly anti-American or somehow damaging this country. And that is essentially his mission. But again, I'm getting back to the most fundamental issues, namely that this person, whose name we do not know for sure, and whose nationality we do not know for sure, is in the White House completely illegally. Moreover, he is just a plain fraud. He uses a false social security number. He produced forged documents.
Okay, let me grant, for the sake of the discussion, let me grant that that there's a huge question about his eligibility, whether or not he was born here or in America. We all know that the birth certificate that the White House put out about 2 years ago is a photocopy. We all know it was photoshopped. We all know that, and let's take your best argument that he is not a legitimate president. So what? What are we going to do about it?
Many things. First of all, why does it last so long? It's shamefully long. It's unimaginably long. How can you believe that you live in a civilized nation where a thief, an exposed, proven thief, occupies the highest position, and nobody raised a voice except a few small sites and except a few patriots? Nobody in the media even touches this issue. Moreover, this issue is like a taboo. How can it be in the civilized nation? It's completely beyond me. I'm ashamed of being a citizen of this nation, although I came here 20 years ago as a proud patriot.
Where are you from, Alex? Where are you from?
Are you from the Soviet Union?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And what city?
I was born in Odessa, which was then Ukraine, Ukrainian Republic. Then I got married in Moscow, and I lived in Moscow my last 15 years before 93 when I moved to the United States. Yeah, so I have a lot of knowledge of what was the former Soviet Union and what was the coup of 1917, which made the Soviet Union possible.
Right. And what work did you do when you lived in the Soviet Union?
I was a mathematician and programmer, and also here in the United States, I was, until retired, mathematician and programmer.
Okay.
So, political science is not exactly my proficiency, but just because living back in Soviet Union, I read a lot of some izdat, so-called illegal literature, which somehow found its way from the West.
We've talked about that before. That's underground publishing, just copies between friends, so the state doesn't know what you're reading.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Alex, believe me, the second President Barack Hussein Obama, or Barry Soetoro, whatever his name is, the second he popped up on the radar as a legitimate candidate for the 2008 election, myself and a team, our United West team, immediately went to work investigating his background, all of that. And the birth certificate issue was extremely serious. I mean, still there hasn't been answers. But the problem is, and we've been on this every day since. I mean, this is our life. And we do a 3-hour briefing on everything about the president. And the difficult situation is if we all come in the room and bang our heads against the wall and say, how did we get in this situation? How do we get in this situation? And we're all in the room banging our heads against the wall. We have to say, okay, well, this is the hand we've been dealt. By the time the birth certificate issue makes its way through the courts, and I know there's still activity going on, he runs the DOJ, the Department of Justice. He's going to be making his 475 large for the rest of his life. He will have museums. He will be a world figure. And even if it comes out then, he'll say, it was a bad law. We have seen constitutional attorneys say it's a bad law to not allow foreigners to be the president of the United States. Yeah. So,
discrimination, it is the most.
That's why we have to let all the illegals in.
Yeah, but right now, hold your birth certificate fraud. Because many of us agree with that. But right now, right today, on the 18th of February, President's Day, what do you want to say? I got to let you go here in a minute. What do you want to say to America regarding this president, and particularly you, coming from the country and the difficult history that you came from? What is your word of admonition for Americans?
First of all, as I said, the 2008 election and the 2012 election, it's actually not an illegal election, it's a coup. It's no less coup than what took place in Russia in 1917. Okay? It's a coup. And Barack Hussein Obama, Soetora, Soberkar, Boanel, is just a puppet. My main question is, my main problem is that we do not have actually any opposition party. What you believe is an opposition party is a traitorous party. I mean, GOPs. They are a part of this coup. We do not have actually a legitimate Congress. It sounds terrible, but it is terrible because during the last 4 years, it's unimaginable that not one congressman or congresswoman wished to touch this issue in spite of that many constituents of those people insisted that they deal with the issue. So it doesn't matter. Obama is a little thing now. It's just no more than a puppet. Yeah. Look wider. We do not have opposition, organized opposition. We do not have a legitimate Congress. They all are guilty, obviously guilty. And do not speak about, say, a thing like birth certificate. At the very beginning, this person, Obama, explained in open text that his father was a foreigner. That alone disqualified him, according to the the recent thing as a resolution on McCain, 511 of 2008.
All right, Alex, we understand all that.
Confirm the definition.
Alex, we understand all that. The more frightening, and I thank you for your voicing your concerns. The more frightening statement right now in the I think it was Audacity of Hope, that book, when he says, when push comes to shove, when the winds blow against the Muslims, when the winds blow, the political winds blow against Islam. Do you remember what he stated in his book?
You should not suppose me to read this.
Well, he said.
But yes, I do.
He said the president.
I know that he is an Islamic agent. I'm not sure if he is if he hits the floor with his head 5 times a day, but he's on the mission for Islam. And it's completely obvious for me. He is a figurehead, right, which was posted on this position for a particular mission, which he completes very well.
All right. Okay, Alex, thank you very, very much for calling. Appreciate you listening and watching. Do call back. We'll give you some more time in the future. We got a bunch of people waiting right now. That was Alex from San Francisco, born in the Soviet Union, Odessa.
Spasiba.
And we shall see you. And to tell you the truth, I'm hearing more and more lately. I get a lot of emails from the show, and people are saying, "Hey, he is a Manchurian candidate. He he is being manipulated by others, and they're leaning toward the Muslim Brotherhood. But let's bring in another caller, and we'll talk a bit about that because I got a little different view on that. Who do we have next?
Next, we have Eric on the line.
Eric, hi. You're with CJ, Cheryl Joy, or Candy Jane, or whatever.
Candy Joe.
Candy Joe, and TAT. TT. You're with TT and CJ. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Hey, Eric, glad to hear from you guys. I think that Obama has been quite transparent as a president. And I'm just going to give you a couple points as to why I believe this. Let's go back when he won the election in 08. Okay? And when he won that election in 08, he made a statement that shows where he stands. And what he said is that now the Republicans can get on the back of the bus. Now let's roll that back and let's say that if John McCain won the election, and let's say John McCain said, well, now you Democrats can get on the back of the bus, what kind of repercussions would there have been from that party or from those who represent that party, NAACP and the rest of them? Okay. Now, then let's go to the professor who was arrested at the college.
Harvard, yep.
And he got involved in that ordeal.
Had a little beer party for that one, yeah.
Yeah,
had a little beer party. And then he got involved with Trayvon Martin shooting.
It's my son. If I had a son, he'd be like Trayvon.
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you want transparency, and I know for a fact who Obama is just by those three simple things, and I know who he is and where he stands. Now, to take this a little deeper, let's look at what he's trying to do with the weapons grab. That he is trying to take weapons away from your legal, law-abiding citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I think he
majority
wants
of
to
them,
send them to Syria.
Yeah, he needs Syria needs them. So your AR-15 can be used by the
Got
Muslim
busted
Brotherhood.
in Benghazi, so he needs to take our guns to send them to Syria.
Yeah. So look, we got to help them have the ring of fire around Israel, the Muslim Brotherhood ring of fire. Where are you calling from, Eric?
I'm out in Cooper City.
And what do you do? What kind of work?
I'm in law enforcement.
Okay, good. The on a local or federal level?
No, local.
All right.
Broward County.
I'm gonna let you continue in a second, but on a federal level, I'm privileged to be one of the authors of a book called Sharia: The Threat to America, which is really a definitive analysis of the Brotherhood and their mission, the Muslim Brotherhood and their mission in the United States. And there's 19 national security folks, experts, analysts that put that together, and probably half, 10, 12, regularly briefed the law enforcement, military, intelligence, and the political arena in Washington, D.C. on the Brotherhood. Well, since President Obama came in 2008, all of that changed. I don't think any of the authors anymore, Sharia: The Threat to America, are welcomed or allowed to brief on the Muslim Brotherhood. These are experts. It's 400 years of expertise. Simply because the message that we were bringing, the Muslim Brotherhood is a cultural terrorist organization and dangerous to America, doesn't fit with the influence agents that are in the White House. There's 6 Muslim Brotherhood operatives working in an influence position. And the law enforcement and intelligence community has suffered dramatically at a federal level. This has even filtered down to some of the briefings that used to be given by friends of ours who are experts to the JTTF and other anti- or counterterrorism organizations. So, transparent, and I know what you're saying. I mean, you're saying, I was asking the question, is he sharing with us his true agenda? And you're saying, yes, he's very transparent.
Oh, yes, he is. He is transparent.
Yep.
Now, we had the FBI come in, and they were briefing us in regards to prison inmates and their religious rights, of course. And when they do Muslim religion services, that there was supposed to have been someone inside the room, an officer or somebody inside that room during this service. And the FBI, we instructed them that no one has ever been in that room when these services are being conducted through Muslim services. And the FBI agent said, that will change. And guess what? Yeah, it hasn't.
Yeah.
Nobody ever goes into these rooms during these Muslim services. And just to bring to point what I'm trying to say is, when you start taking and regulating the weapons of the average American, okay, now you're gonna restrict the opportunity for the average American to fight for his rights. Now, you can do it verbally, or you can do it forcibly. And this country has gone through many altercations by use of force. Let's go back to the 1700s and so on. Well, if you restrict the use of weapons in this country from the average American, if you look at the people who are willing to convert to Muslimhood, it is not your average American. It is not your legal abiding citizen. And if those are the people that are going to be converting to your Muslim Brotherhood and Muslims and such, they are the ones that's going to be carrying the weapons because, of course, they don't have to register.
Yep.
They're not going to register. And they're going to be armed. And does this sound crazy? I mean, it sounds
No.
To me that we're being set up to take all our weapons away from us. And if these people come in, how are you going to fight it?
No, you're making very, very good points, and share a concluding thought. We got other callers to bring in, and then I'm gonna make a few comments. So keep listening about the prison system. I'll tell you a little bit about that. But as a person who, in the thin blue line, you put your life on the line every single day. You have no idea if you pull somebody over. And by the way, if you see a 1996 Chevy Astro van going down the road, just if it's going a little fast,
wave.
just wave. Okay. No, when you pull somebody over or you go into a domestic situation, you have no idea how quickly but people don't have no idea how quickly.
He just has to show up in a uniform. He doesn't even have to be doing his job, and he's a target.
So we appreciate the commitment you're making to this country and to the state, these towns here. But share.
I appreciate what you guys are doing over this radio.
No, we're pounding away, but. What is a concluding thought as a law enforcement officer for our audience in light of where we are in the world today? What's a little, challenge or a thought you want to share?
On a deep scale, you're entire like with the Muslims or
anything. What's on your heart that you would like to share with the listening audience, the viewing audience, in terms of the mess we're in right now?
The mess. It's a shame because we're being restricted every which way as far as monetarily, and there's so many cuts that are coming from one way or the other, and law enforcement, you got your school teachers, firefighters, and everybody is taking a big hit, and all that does is puts a strain on everybody's job and response and being able to take care of the people that you're here to protect.
All right, thanks. We got to get those Obama phones, so you may have to take a little bit of a cut. Thank you, Eric,
Thank you, Eric, very much.
South Florida, for calling in and sharing your thoughts. The number's 20%. Right now, 20% of inmates in prison are converting to Islam.
Yeah.
20%, and many of them are African Americans, because
Most of them are.
Islam is presented in a way that's compatible with a prisoner, a felon's interest in the world.
Yeah.
You can be tough and aggressive and make it to paradise, make it to heaven. You can have 4 ladies. You don't have to settle with one lady. You could have 4 ladies. You're fighting the man.
It's
you're fighting
violent
the
and
system.
racist.
It's everything. And what Eric was referring to in Guantanamo Bay, it was discovered. Now, mind you, we didn't have a whole lot of experience with Islamic terrorism and the methodologies for communication, but it was discovered that in prayer time, a lot of the Gitmo inmates, residents, were using the Quran in a coded manner, sharing Qurans and in a coded manner to advance the jihad, to get messages outside, to do all these different communication elements, because they all spoke with attorneys, and a lot of these attorneys were with them. So theoretically, there was going to be a rule that somebody had to be in there during prayer time, so that they were supposed to understand the language. Any transfer of information was preempted, and he's saying that he doesn't see this happening around here. Of course, it's not going to happen. This administration is pro-Islamic. I mean, seriously pro-Islamic. We know that.
Yeah, they're helping the effort.
At 39 minutes past 3 o'clock, I got to tell you about an event that's taking place. You hear the commercials, the little spots on WNN. But we're going to be there, CJ and the Trento Vision team. It's on March 1st, Friday night, March 1st. Grab your boots and join us. This is 3rd annual Wild West Night. So this is for all the people listening and watching. You are invited to come. It is a benefit for horses and the handicapped of South Florida. That's an ongoing program that handicapped people, children and adults, get involved with horses, all the elements of
it's
the
good
equestrian.
physical and emotional therapy for people to work with the horses.
To work with them, and there's going to be a big hoedown at Ron Bergeron's Green Glades Ranch out in Weston. So we will be there, and the whole purpose behind this, obviously the purpose is to help the handicapped folks. But this is an honor of the legacy of Megan Morency, and the general manager of WNN is Bob Morency. His daughter was unfortunately killed in an accident years ago, and as a result, Bob and others started this program specifically to raise some money, bring awareness to the beauty of bringing horses in with handicapped people. So if you're interested, you can call the studio here to get more information, 888-565-1470. But it's Friday night, March 1st, 7 o'clock at Ron Bergeron's Green Glades Ranch. It's going to be all kinds of food and entertainment and just a very positive, uplifting evening built around a sad event, but for a constructive purpose. And we will be there. So we hope to see you Friday night, March 1st, 2013. 3:41 in the afternoon. What else is going on?
We have more callers.
Okay.
Would you like to speak with them?
Yeah, in a second.
Okay.
We'll speak to all of them. And what we're doing today on President's Day is we're asking the listening and viewing audience to share your thoughts about our Commander-in-Chief, our First Man, our First Lady, too. If you got something you want to share about, I don't want to say Michelle.
About Danica Patrick?
Yeah. I don't want to say Michelle, but some people call her that Michelle.
Not nice.
Yes, I know.
That's not nice.
Well, when someone talk about transparency, when both parties want to lead 330 million Americans, they want to do that. They want to be a public servant. Yet they refuse to release the papers they wrote in college.
No. They do not want to be public servants.
Oh.
They want public servants to wait on them.
Okay. So if you have something to say about Michelle, you can call us right here, 888-565-1470.
There's enough to go after them for without having to,
Yeah, but you just aggravated me by saying they want us to be their public servants.
Yeah.
It's not quite the way it's supposed to work, but it is the way it's working.
Right, but that's how it is.
So if you'd like to share your thoughts about Michelle, kids, we'll leave the kids out. They seem like nice kids. We'll leave the kids out, but the parents are wide open for your compliments or your criticism, because this is President's Day. And I'm going to tell you about President's Day after the next caller.
Okay, the next caller is Rick.
Hi, Rick. You're with CJ and Tom here.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, howdy, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah, CJ, hi, good to see you here.
How are you?
You said something about Mr. Obama being president. He's not very transparent. I give him an F. He's probably on vacation right now on our dime.
He was here yesterday in Florida playing golf.
That's right.
Playing
vacationing.
Yeah, just a few miles from here. Guess who he was playing golf with?
I give up who?
Tiger Woods. Who else?
That's right. Yeah, I heard something about the.
Yeah, and Rick.
Talking about the tail.
He flies.
Anyway.
Wait, listen. He flies. I'm going to let you talk, but he flies his zillion-dollar airplane at $200,000 an hour down to Florida, hangs out with Tiger Woods. That's a whole nother story. He lives the life of royalty, yet the dumb Democrats that vote for him just go, "Oh, he's so wonderful." They're so hypocritical in their critique of Mitt Romney, and his wealth and his service and commitment. Mitt Romney in 1 year gives more than Obama gave in his lifetime to charity. Yet that when they turn to Obama, simply because they go ahead, you talk.
And I guess isn't Michelle didn't she go some other place, Hawaii or someplace on our dime?
Well, she went to Spain early on, the second year in their administration, and took an obscene entourage with her and spent millions upon millions of dollars. Since then, she's toned it down a bit. I don't think she was on this particular trip, but she went to Hawaii. The Hawaii trip a couple of weeks ago, right around the fiscal cliff time at the end of the year, the Hawaii trip, Michelle flew out on her own airplane. The president flew out at $200,000 an hour. It was a $4 million flight round trip. And then he came back to Washington to tell everybody, you better do what you're doing. And then he flew out again. 2 trips, $8 million in airfare, back and forth to Hawaii.
Says Michelle was in Colorado this weekend.
She was in Colorado this weekend?
Yes.
Boy, oh boy.
Looking westward towards the mountains.
It's nice being the president and the president lady, man. It is nice.
Yeah.
So, you got to get a game of golf in whenever you can, I'm sure.
I don't... Look. Presidents do this. What bothers me is the hypocrisy of him getting in the pulpit, reading the teleprompters, and talking about the evil of capitalism and the evil of big corporations and all of this. And it used to be the president would get up there and say, "Look, we are capitalists. We produce and make capital so we can improve our lives. Go out and do the best you can." Now he calls the process that made this country great inherently evil, yet he splendors in the process and the luxury of the system that he despises.
Okay, well, let me ask you two something.
Yes.
If he's on vacation, maybe he's not doing any damage to our country or anywhere else in the world while he's playing golf. So maybe it's a good thing for him to be on vacation.
That's a good point.
Except it just costs us a lot of money.
That's a good point. Maybe
you know what? That's money well spent.
Yeah, maybe we should say, stay away. Give him
stay away. Don't sign any executive orders. Just
Biden
have a pina colada and play another round of golf.
I tell you what, Biden piloting this ship would be a lot of fun. Let me tell you.
Oh Lord.
So all right, go ahead, Rick. Right?
Yep, Rick.
I just want to kind of change the subject a little bit. You notice that they're buying all this ammunition. I guess it's for Homeland Security and the IRS and all that. Millions and millions of rounds of ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
So what is up with that?
So I called. I have a good friend of mine is Congressman Dave Daines, Steve Daines. I'm sorry, Steve Daines in Montana. He's a good friend of mine, and I put on a little message there. I said, "Hey, how about not giving any money to the government for the ammunition that could back and bite us in the butt? Why are they spending all this money on all this ammunition? What's up with that?"
Maybe they're sending it to Mexico to go with the guns they sent down there.
Yeah, you need ammo down there.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, yeah, but it's there's something up with that.
That was
and
a
they're
sarcasm.
spending so many millions and millions of rounds of ammunition, some for pistols, some for rifles. Are they trying to dry up the market for the ammunition, or what? What's going on with that?
Are you at? Are you
I
at?
I don't know.
guess
I'm just
that would be my
every
guess.
time I get a chance, I call. See, I'm from Alabama here. So, maybe you can tell. Anyway, I
Not
call
really.
Joe Bonner. I kind of know him personally. I give him what I call, fireside chats. I call them after hours and leave a message on their answering machine. I used to do that with Congressman Denny Rehberg. But anyway, what I'm saying is I'm an activist, and I give my input and try to plant nice seeds in their mind. Hey, let's do the right thing. How about defunding the EPA? And
Yes,
also get
yes.
rid of a bunch of bad...
I would like to get rid of the Department of Education
Yes.
as well.
Yes, we don't need that. Let the states run it.
But what I'm saying is all these regulations are strangling our economy, and that's why this is the key to get our country back working, is get rid of all these regulations. It's killing America. It only makes sense. Start defunding a lot of these, big programs, you know what I'm saying. But anyway,
Sure.
This whole thing is just a nightmare. One more thing, and I'm a gabby old man.
That's all right.
Injury, whatever.
You know.
One more thing we got to do in 2014. The good conservative Republicans must get a hold of the Senate. And I think that's where it's all going to happen until we can get both houses that will start passing bills. This country is just going to be a stalemate, and nothing's going to get done. What do you think?
Well, yeah, the devastating loss on November 6th may be a blessing in disguise in the sense that we can be obstructionistic enough to slow down this erosion of rights and this super legislative mode that the president's in with his executive orders. One came out yesterday, Plan B for illegal immigration. If you guys see that one, Plan B.
Yeah.
Plan B
It's
is
not legal.
yeah, right, exactly. So if we can be obstructionistic until the 14th, then we can point back to all these problems and get some of the good people that did not vote in 12 out in 14 and do just what you said. We are not at a point, I know a lot of patriotic people are talking about revolutions in the street and all that. Don't need to do any of that. All we needed was
don't do
another.
that.
We only needed a half a
No.
million more people to vote properly, and we would have had Mitt Romney, which is not he wasn't the best conservative guy in the world, but as difficult as the situation
But he's
is in
not a
America,
communist.
no, there's a tremendous amount of hope and positive prospects in the future. But we got to do stuff like we're doing this show, wake people up, and then give this president, just make life difficult for he and his policies. Thanks, Rick, for calling us. We got to let you go right now. It's 51.
Thank you for listening.
Sure.
Thank you, Rick. And actually, I think Rick is a good person to check out Tea Party community.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I thought you wanted me to say hello to the Tea Party community. Rick, if you're
Okay.
still listening, go
Yes.
to teapartycommunity.com. I just checked, and the website is working perfectly. We are on right now, teapartycommunity.com.
And he can.
You can watch this, and there are over 111,000 members.
And he can probably find some folks in Alabama who think just the
Alabama,
way that
yeah.
he does,
Roll
that
Tide.
he can do some activism with.
Roll Tide. Yes, you can. So hello to all our friends on teapartycommunity.com. If you are there, we're going to eventually put up a little chat thing. I think you guys can chat somewhere on Tea Party Community, so you can sort of stay in touch with this. If you Want to get in on the excitement? We want to know on this President's Day, what do you think of our president? Are you
El Jefe.
happy? El Jefe. Yeah, El Jefe. The boss. Are you happy? Are you sad? And what do you think of Mrs. President? Because I heard she may run in 16. We heard that out there too.
well.
Just keep it in the family. So, or are these?
Yeah,
are,
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle and Hillary going at it. Oh, man.
No, then Biden. Oh, that would be great. All of you in favor of a Obama Clinton ticket, and we don't know who's on top. All of you in favor of that ticket, raise your hands. Give us a call, 888-565-1470.
And we do have some people still on hold, and we would politely ask you to call back after
Or
the
hang
beginning
over.
of the hour.
They can hang over, listen
Or
to all this
you
stuff.
can hang over and listen.
And I just want to wind this segment up with a little bit about what today is all about. Today is George Washington's birthday, but we call it President's Day, President.
I thought his
apostrophe
birthday was the
S.
22nd.
Yes, it is. Washington's is the 22nd.
Yeah.
But today is, when was Lincoln's birthday?
Sometime in February.
Yeah, the same. Somebody
No.
check on Lincoln's. Their both birthdays are in February. Washington's the 22nd because remember it used to be Washington's birthday. This holiday thing.
No, because we're younger than you.
President's DENT apostrophe S,
Yeah.
or PRES. That's possessive. It's the president's,
Yeah.
or it's PRESDINT apostrophe. It's many presidents. Both are acceptable. You can spell President's Day either way. George Washington was on the 22nd. Abraham Lincoln is on the 12th. His birthday is February 12th. So if you add 22 and 12,
Are we
you
going
get
to do numerology
34.
now?
If you divide 34 by some number, you get 18.
Yeah.
So that's how the
Unless
18.
it's a leap year, and then
And then you have to do pi. So pi is the answer to life. And as we leave, watch out for Russian asteroids. We'll be
Cherry
right back.
pie.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we promise.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, I'm Duke Liberatore.
And I'm Dr. Jan McBarron.
We're a husband and wife team,
And together we host the #1 health talk show in the nation.
Duke and the Doctor.
You can hear our show weekday mornings at 10 here on WWNN AM 1470 Health and Wealth Radio.
We'll discuss up-to-date health news, give away gifts, share a laugh or two, and answer health questions from our callers.
So if you are ready to start feeling happy, healthy, and terrific, then tune in to Duke and the Doctor.
Weekday mornings at 10 on WWNN AM 1470.
AM 1470 WNN. Listen live at WWNNradio.com and like us on Facebook. Search AM 1470 WWNN.
In times of joy, in moments of grief, broadcasters come through, even when all else fails. Today, with more ways than ever to experience the moments that transform our lives, Americans still choose broadcast radio and television more than all other media combined. We are the local broadcasters of radio and television, reaching more people, touching more lives. Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Does it scare you to know that bed bugs are real? Or that termites cause billions of dollars in property damage? Does it frighten you to know that cockroaches contribute to asthma? Well, it shouldn't. What should really scare you is not knowing these things, because knowing about household pest threats is the best way to prevent them. And it's a lot less scary than the prospect of learning about them the hard way. This message brought to you by the National Pest Management Association. Learn more at pestworld.org.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second? I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
The bond between a child and a horse is special. When that child is physically or mentally challenged, the results are magical. Horses in the Handicapped of South Florida has been providing equine-assisted therapy to hundreds of children, the majority of which could never afford this highly beneficial therapy on their own. It's a great cause, and here's a great way to help. Grab your boots and join us on Friday, March 1st at 7 p.m. at Ron Bergeron's Green Glades Ranch in Weston for the 3rd annual Wild West Night. This fun and exciting evening will feature great food and drink. Try an alligator Ron, live music with the Barron Sisters and the Andrews Morris Band. A live and silent auction featuring a Taylor Swift autographed guitar, live writing demonstrations, and much, much more. It's all to celebrate the legacy of Megan Morency. And all the proceeds go to Horses in the Handicap. Wild Wild West Night, Friday, March 1st. For tickets, visit hhsfl.org. That's hhsfl.org.
This is Health and Wealth Radio, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, and WKIS HD3, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Happy, healthy, and wealthy. Follow the American dream. On South Florida's AM 1470, WNN.
Here's some great news from Tom Trento, host of the daily WNN Trento Vision Show. Due to the unparalleled success of the Trento Vision Show,
including the areas where French and African troops are fighting to unseat Islamist rebels who used the coup's chaos to grab control. The EU has already sent 70 advisors to Mali, and more military experts will begin arriving next month. Training starts in April.
A UN-appointed panel warns that Syria's civil war is becoming increasingly sectarian and that both sides are becoming more radicalized. The Independent International Commission of Inquiry on Syria says a proliferation of weapons is another major concern. It's urged the international community to curb the supply of weapons. This is IRN USA Radio News.
Ladies, are any of these symptoms familiar? Weight gain, hot flashes, rapid heartbeat, night sweats? How about fatigue, nausea, low energy? Or what about sleeplessness, low libido, and fat storage, especially around the belly area? If you're a woman over 40 experiencing any of these symptoms, you probably have hormonal imbalance. And until you balance your hormones, it'll be practically impossible to get rid of these problems. But you're in luck because Amberen is the all-natural formula clinically shown to cause sustained weight loss in women over 40 with no big change in lifestyle. Amberen restores hormonal imbalance in women over 40 so the extra pounds fall away and the other symptoms simply disappear. To receive a complimentary risk-free trial with a free 30-day supply, just be one of the first 50 callers right now at 1-800-727-6808. Free supplies are limited, so be one of the first callers right now at 1-800-727-6808. That's 1-800-727-6808.
U.S. Senator Mike Johanns of Nebraska says he will not seek re-election in 2014. Johanns joined the U.S. Senate in 2009. He served as Agriculture Secretary under President George W. Bush and was Nebraska's governor from 1999 to 2005. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta remains on the job with Chuck Hagel's nomination stalled.
Panetta's already had several farewell events and is desperate to retire to his California walnut farm. But with Hagel at least a week from potentially being confirmed, the job remains Panetta's. and he has one final trip left. He's due to leave the farm and head to Brussels for a NATO ministers meeting this week.
European stocks have been mixed on a day when markets in the U.S. are closed for the President's Day holiday. Germany's central bank announced today that Europe's biggest economy is on track to avoid a recession, showing signs of growth in the first 3 months of the year. For the latest news and analysis, log on to IRNUSAnews.com.
You know those commercials that have been on for years and years about Andy Willoughby's three-step plan home business system? You know, the hi, how in the world are you anyway guy? Took me almost 10 years to call. I finally did, just out of curiosity. I was really surprised. This is a business I can make a real income with. And the best part, I don't have to talk my family and friends into doing anything. It's that easy. Call 800-480-2102 or online at 3stepusa.com.
10 years after a deadly nightclub fire in Rhode Island, some survivors and relatives of the 100 who died in the blaze remember it with quiet pain. Huddled together in bitter cold, they brought flowers Sunday and paid their respects at homemade crosses that dot the site of the 2003 fire for each person who died. Some cried and spoke of missing their loved ones and the difficulty of moving past such trauma. Correspondent Michelle Smith reports one survivor who suffered third-degree burns in his lungs and throat said memories of the fire and the loss of many friends have been very tough.
He said he had gone through years of therapy and finally got out, but just recently, as the 10-year anniversary rolled around, he went back into therapy. He said it's just too difficult. He said sometimes people don't understand how hard it has been for many of these survivors.
Parents are beginning to pit themselves against school administrators over increasing suspensions for what many consider normal behavior, like a game of cops and robbers, for example. Even before the Newtown, Connecticut shooting, some schools began imposing zero-tolerance policies. Some parents say administrators are projecting adult fears onto children who have active imaginations but pose no threat to anyone. Police in Thailand say a driver is facing charges after his pickup truck hit and killed a British couple on an around-the-world cycling journey. Peter Root and Mary Thompson were cycling on a road east of Bangkok when they were hit last Wednesday. The couple had cycled through Europe, the Middle East, Central Asia, and China, and had been posting photos and details of their trip on the website 2 on 4 Wheels. With IRN, U.S.
Here's some great news from Tom Trento, host of the daily WNN Trento Vision Show. Due to the unparalleled success of the Trento Vision Show, you now have an amazing opportunity to advertise on the Trento Vision Show. If you want more information about this excellent opportunity for your business, please contact Tom Trento at 561-319-5533, or you can email him, tom@trentovision.tv. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or tom@trentovision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and trentovision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Hello, Kenny. Hope you had a nice weekend. This is Tom Trento. I had a wonderful weekend doing something that everybody will find out about a little later in the week. But we are back on trentovision.tv. That is the visual side of this unique educational and activistic experience as we have crawling people through the studio.
We have critters on the floor.
Critters on the floor. And on WNN 1470, we're coming to you 50,000 horsepower out of South Florida. The signal goes from North Miami. So if you're in Miami, if you're Cuban, you call it Miami. If you live in Miami, the northern part, we're working our way down south, but the northern part of Miami, all the way up to some of our friends actually hear us in Orlando. Covers a lot of dirt, and we cover a lot of dirty things, too, in this world with people that want to kill Jews, kill Christians, kill Hindus, kill everybody. The religion of peace, Islam, we are critics of the religion of peace. We criticize it particularly its political component. We have no problem with human beings who are Muslims who choose to not follow the dictates of their faith, which requires a very virulent, a very aggressive element to subdue, to either bring people to conversion through persuasion. If that doesn't work, then through the jihad process. If that doesn't work, you are then de facto an enemy of the state. Why am I saying this hateful stuff? I happen to be a student of Islamic theology, Islamic doctrine, and very simple to disprove the hate we have. And I'm putting hate in quotes because it's misplaced. We're simply reading truthful documents that have been guiding Islam for 1,400 years. And we have 57, 56 plus Gaza now, Islamic nations. Go find one. Baghdad over the weekend, Sunnis blowing up Shias. What did Tom Trento or CJ have to do with that? Okay. Pakistan, another bombing there, Sunnis blowing up Shias. What did Frank Gaffney have to do with that? You know, what are you people crazy? The Sunnis and Shias hate each other. Why do they hate each other? Over doctrine. One believes that Muhammad handed the torch of Islam down through a bloodline. The others believe, no, it was handed down politically. And they will never, ever, unless there's a Jew in the room, they will never stop hating each other unless there's a Jew in the room. Okay?
No, you don't even have to be in the room. You just have to exist.
Yeah.
A lot of these countries don't even have any Jewish people, and it guides them.
Yeah. So all we're doing is telling you, explaining to you why you're so fearful of the Islamic jihad worldwide and Islamic Islamization of America through immigration and through Sharia law and all of this. That's part of what we do in our national security work. We're also a serious critic of the President of the United States, and what better day than President's Day? But let's bring in one of the callers who has been patiently waiting.
Yes,
then I'll tell you a few
has.
more things
and
about
his
the
name
President's
is
Day.
Joe.
Joe. Hi, Joe. You're with Tom and CJ.
Hi, Joe. Thank you for waiting.
Hi, Tom. Hi, CJ. I've been listening to you, your last three guests, and I find them to be incredibly accurate as to what's going on here. The gentleman from the Ukraine, Alex, he knows more about the president than the news media does. And I was wanting to compliment the police officer, too, that I can see where there's a so-called a political correctness in our society that seems to be overwhelming the bad taste in our mouths from this religion of peace. If you go out to the religionofpeace.com, you'll see the everyday bombings of what the
That's
Islamists
funny.
are
I'm
doing
looking
to the
at it
world.
right now. I'm looking at it right now, Joe. I can't believe this. Picture of the week.
What is it? What was the latest number?
A woman protests the execution of Muhammad Afzal Guru, who masterminded the deadly assault on the Indian parliament shortly after 9/11. Muslim outrage is hard to find when innocent people are butchered and blown up in the name of Islam, but that's certainly not the case when Muslim radicals are convicted of war crimes or executed for terrorism. And it's got the Jihad report for January is up. And
the Jihad report is up.
The weekly Jihad report is, well, so far in February, from February 9th to February 15th, we have 158 critically injured. The monthly Jihad report for January, Jihad attacks 193, countries 22, religions, as in the victims, are 5, dead bodies 931, and critically injured 1,480. That's just for January, all in the name of Islam. So you people who call us haters and Islamophobes and everything else, you should check out thereligionofpeace.com and start keeping track for yourself.
Yeah, now how many people, we're the Islamophobes, we scare people about Islam. How many people died from our work of revealing this stuff? You know? Anyway, Joe, what do you do? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Guyton, Georgia.
Okay, are you watching on Tea Party Community by any chance?
No, I'm not. I'm watching on television.
Yeah, good. And how'd you hear about the show?
My wife's Mary.
Okay, good. Oh, that's great.
So you know Mary?
Yeah, of course we do. Of course we do.
I also wanted to mention tellthechildrenthetruth.com gives you a history of the last, let's say, century of what Islam was and how they joined the Nazi Party and were basically a very big part of the extermination of the Jews during World War II.
Yep, we've talked about that.
There's another topic out there called Tears of Jihad that shows that there's 270 million people that have been killed by Islam over the last 1,400 years.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting too, Joe, that when you and I've been a student of Islam. You know, I have a degree in theology. Part of that, a couple of degrees in theology. Part of that was to study world religions, and in particular Islam, doctrinally. And when I debate Muslims, they go, "Oh, you have no credibility. You don't speak classic Arabic." Most of the Muslim world does not speak classic Arabic, but these are all what's called red herrings. Some, the background to a red herring is very interesting. The bloodhounds would be chasing the scent of a criminal, and if you took a red herring, and put it in the ground and made it go off to the side, the dog would follow that while the criminal got away. So a red herring is a diversion. It's a philosophical or polemic diversion. So when Muslims go, oh, you don't know authoritative Islam, you don't know Arabic, that's a bunch of baloney, because we could open the books they learn from and say, look what this says, folks. And then they go, oh, you hate us.
Yeah.
No, we're showing you what it is. But if you get inside the world view, if you get in the mind of those who are the leaders of Islam and the writers, it makes sense from their point of view that Allah commissioned them with a global task to subdue the world for Islam. Subdue. That's what Islam means, to subdue the world. And Allah basically said initially, try to do this through persuasion, invite them to Islam, as Osama bin Laden did several times before he launched attacks. If that doesn't work, then jihad is the way. Yep. And you can use force to subdue the infidel, because Allah says they're evil. And if that doesn't work, then you can kill them.
You just kill them and take their stuff.
So this worldview makes a lot of sense from their perspective. It clashes with a Judeo-Christian worldview upon which Western civilization has been built. So we truly have, as Huntington says, a clash of civilizations. We can make believe we don't. But now, what about the moderate Muslim? We got some stuff on that here. But again, for the record, we don't hate Muslims. A Muslim is an individual, a human being. If you reject the Sharia in particular, the violent, kinetic, jurisprudential component of Islam, if you reject that and want to assimilate into America, and this is a message for all our good Muslim friends, we know many of you are watching, if you reject that, then you are like us, trying to become and live as an American. If you reject the rejection of the central component of Islam, and in a sense you really can't reject it, then you are an enemy of the state by definition, because you're trying to overthrow the principles of the state. This isn't that hard to figure out. So, Joe, what do you think about our president?
I sure wish we didn't have him in that office. I really feel he has dumbed us down to the point where we're being overwhelmed. Like I know John Guandolo. I feel really bad that he left the FBI because of pressures that were created by the upper management. I'm talking about Karl Rove and Grover Norquist, who are basically they're not really Republicans. They're the Republicans that are trying to destroy the Tea Party.
They're the
They're
franchise.
the ones that were responsible for the throwing out of the Tea Party people out of the Republican Party in Savannah here, and I can see why would happen now, but it's too late because he's already destroyed this last election for us in order to win, because he and Grover Norquist are the ones that are the architects that are causing this idiot to be in office.
Yeah, Joe, there's institutional republicanism, institutional republicanism. And if you spend any time, and I've spent a lot of time over the many, many years in Washington, D.C., there's an institution called Republican. And it's got layers and layers of lobbyists, of consultants, of experts, of people that have served for 10, 15, 20 years that basically get hired back on K Street in one of the think tanks there, or political lobbying firms. And there's this whole institution of republicanism, which is really at odds with the Tea Party concept of what being a Republican means.
They need to be gotten rid of.
Well, so this is the battle, and right now they're gathering together. Karl Rove and Grover Norquist and all of them. Both of them were culpable in bringing the Islamic influence into the George Bush White House. Grover Norquist in
absolutely
particular.
Agree. And as a matter of fact, if you take a look at John Brennan, he secretly converted during over Bill Clinton, who basically didn't. He was responsible for not getting Obama, but Bin Laden. He was in charge of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got an email recently that said, Bill Clinton is a draft dodger. I went through the timeline. So I checked it out on Snopes. Mm-hmm. And Snopes goes, false, right? But then Snopes explains the timeline. Their explanation was actually worse than the accusation in the email. Because Snopes concluded that as reprehensible as his actions were, as horrific as he was, as humanly horrible as he was, it wasn't unlawful what he did, right? So we're going to talk about Clinton in the future, because he has become one of the heroes of this Democrat Party. And if his wife's going to run, he's going to be shaking all the hands of the ladies. I
think Michelle's going to run before Hillary runs.
Well, we're calling for a Hillary. We're calling for a Clinton Obama or Obama Clinton. Again, we don't know who's on top, but we're calling for that ticket for the Democrats. Right now, they're all going, oh. All right, Joe, thank you very much for your call.
Thank you, Joe.
Let's take one more call, then I got some stuff to go through here.
Okay, we have Mort on the line.
Morty on the line. How are you? I hope you're fine. If you're fine, I can go on, right?
Yeah, you can.
If you're fine, that's okay. Now, what do you have to say?
Ooh.
There you
First of all, I don't understand what you're saying with the Morty. This is Mordecai, and I'm calling from Kings Point.
Okay.
And, I wanted to let you
Mordecai.
know. Thank you. Is that CJ?
Yes.
Listen, I want to tell you something, Goyle. You tell me you got this stuff, what they call clean dishes. I put it on my stuff, and it removed all my knishes. But I thought I'm calling in here to a cooking show because I hear you talking nothing but salami. I don't know what the hell is salami. But the main thing is you're asking about Obama, and I got to tell you, when I look on his face, I'm getting sick on my stomach. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I couldn't look on that guy's face.
Does it put your kishkas in a knot?
Thank you very much. You put it very well, very well. Thank you. That's all I got to say.
Okay, Mordecai, good talking to you. And watch out for the ladies at Kings Point. They can be a handful, let me tell you. That was Mordecai. Okay. Where are we? What is it? 22 minutes after 4 o'clock. Trento Vision, if you're watching. Thanks for watching, folks. The setting may change in the near future here. We may do a little redesigning in here for your viewing pleasure. So stay tuned for that for sure. Right now we're on WNN 1470. That means if you're driving around in your automobile or if you want to listen to us on your smartphones. Your smartphones, you can do that how, CJ?
You can download the iHeart Radio app.
Very simple. Go to iHeartRadio.com. You can do that right on your phone. Go to your browser, iHeartRadio. You download it, a couple of minutes. It asks for your name and I think your zip code. And
don't tell them anything. They'll give it to you anyway.
Yeah, you can give them. Tell them it's Tom Trento. Give them that name and any zip code you want. And I think an email too. They need to email you. And then you search in Florida, South Florida, WNN. That's all you got to put in, WNN, zappity-doo. It'll be there. You push the button, and crystal clear digital audio anywhere on the globe where your phone works. So that is a very, very good way. In the mornings when I'm driving around, I go to the gym, I run some errands. I'm listening to Steve Kane and Brian Craig. They are on WNN from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock every morning. And if I step out of my car, I just click on iHeartRadio, WNN. I sit at my desk and listen that way. Or sometimes I stop at Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts.
I was going to say, yeah, I think you stop at Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts. I get a medium coffee, cream and sugar. I'm staying away from donuts, about 14 pounds down from when we originally started the show, and going down more.
If you drink your coffee black, you'll probably just lose a couple of pounds without even trying.
There you go. To my fighting weight. I was an amateur boxer, 125 pounds. I'm going to try to get back to that. Yeah, sure. That may be a little bit of a stretch, but going down, so that's good. And you know what? I'm past the... When I walk into Dunkin' Donuts and I see, the double things, and every, like Valentine's Day, there are hearts. I'm past I got to have 4 of those things.
Right.
I'm past that. Just a cup of coffee, please.
Well, they have the little ones.
The munchkins.
Yeah.
I'm
so
even
every
past
now
that.
and then you can treat yourself to a munchkin.
When the scale is friendly in the morning, I get on one of the keys to managing your weight. You're trying to manage it up. I'm trying to manage it down. One of the keys is every morning I step on there and I go, I know last night I should not have had that knish or whatever. But sometimes when it's friendly in the morning, I may partake of a little donut or no, that's about it. But for those of you struggling, took me about a month of discipline of not gorging myself to death. I'm Italian. I was always skinny all my life, and I can eat. I used to stay at the table. This is an Italian table. On Sundays, you start about 1 o'clock. You finish around 9 o'clock at night. I would leave the table dizzy. I would eat so much food that the blood was digesting the food, and I would literally get dizzy.
You were engorged.
But, I was very active, all this stuff. I never gained a pound. And then one day, I think I was 25 or 26. I was sitting at my desk in school, no, not in school, in my apartment while in graduate school. And I was sitting in my underwear. And
okay, don't scorch anybody's corneas with the imagery.
And I dropped a pen or something. I looked down at my belly, and I saw a little flap or something. I said, what the heck is that little roll, right? I said, what is that? My stomach used to be flat, right? Flat. I went, oh my God. And I've been looking back ever since, let me tell you. It's been a long ride since then. Just got, that little roll got a little bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But I'm going after it. So, but it took about 4 to 6 weeks to get rid of the psychological need to eat. We in America, really, we don't have a physical need to eat. I mean, we could eat a little meal once a day and survive. But the psychological, particularly when you do what we do and you go out at night and we have a drink and we do this, we do that. You want to eat a little sandwich, you want to eat chicken wings, whatever. I'm past the psychological need to eat. That was huge. That's 90% of the battle. And you got to work out too. I work out in the mornings, but as everybody knows, 80% diet, 20% working out. So, but for people who are struggling with weight, my heart goes out to you. It's tough. It's tough. But I heard this a long time ago. Nothing tastes as good as thin looks.
What?
Nothing tastes as good as thin looks.
I don't know. I just passed somebody in the elevator who told me I need to eat some cheeseburgers.
Yeah. No, I get that a lot also.
Do you?
Yes. Yeah. Invisible Mike needs to eat. Yeah. He's a vegan. No, he's a vegetarian. You're just whatever you are. What do you call it? Oh, pescatarian.
But still, I mean, it's just the
You're in
idea.
good
Like
shape.
somebody looks at you.
You eat a lot, you burn it up.
Somebody looks at you and just.
You need a cheeseburger.
And just says,
yeah.
"You need to eat some cheeseburgers."
You sure it wasn't somebody flirting with you? A new pickup line?
No.
And you would have said, well, who's going to buy them for me?
Oh no, you're going to give me tips?
Who would buy that cheeseburger for me? That's all you had to say. And then it would have been, well, it's just you and I. It's just you and I in the elevator. How about if I buy you a cheeseburger? I think you missed an opportunity there, CJ.
Oh, okay. I'll start paying attention.
Okay. And I think that elevator person, will be probably riding up and down, waiting for you to go back down, see what happens.
Oh, no, you did not.
If you have weight loss hints, please share them here on Trento Vision on the physical hour right now. All right, let's get back to the
After
president.
all, it is the Health and Wealth
Health and
Network.
Wealth, there
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. And National Security. Health, Wealth, and National Security radio station. All right, 29 minutes after 4 o'clock on a beautiful Florida day. It's 76 inside. Mike, traffic report.
Traffic should be running fine.
Traffic's running fine. And I'll tell you, we've had a couple of cold days. Tell the folks about the cold days down here.
Oh, yeah. It was really cold over the weekend. It was actually really nice. It went down to the 40s at night.
That was nice. It's nice
That was
sleeping weather.
really, really nice. Yeah. Got to wear some nice sweaters and boots.
But you had to feel bad for the president who flew all the way down here to play golf in the nice sun, and it was only 60 degrees or so. What a
Well,
shame.
it's not like he needs a tan.
All right, what we're doing today on President's Day is we're asking you, our viewers, our listeners, to weigh in on your view of this president.
weigh in.
To weigh in on your view, yes, of this president on President's Day. Do you approve of the president and his work? If not, what is your main critique? What is your main critique? And let's go to Volanda. Volanda, we know you, and we kind of have an idea of your view
Yes,
of
we
Mr.
do.
President.
Well, we think we do, but let's see. Maybe she has a surprise for us today.
Bring her on in.
Yeah, good. Hi, guys.
Hi there.
Hello.
Trento, you are one tough character. You really are. When it comes to what you say
Well,
about your habits.
oh. Yeah, well, discipline to me, that was always something. I was very disciplined all my life in everything. And when I started becoming undisciplined eating, it really bothered me. But I love Italian food. I love all kinds of food. So it was a struggle.
Italian food is ranked up there on my favorite too. But I know if I continue, I'll be beyond the pay. I'll put it this way. I wish I had CJ's problem.
Yeah,
but listen, with respect to the President of the United States,
yes.
Sometimes it gets difficult, but if you're a Christian or if you're a person of faith, you have to realize that we'll weather the storm and we'll get through it, and we do what we can as Americans. We do what you do, pound the pavement every day. You and CJ and Mark. By the way, hi, Mark. Miss you. you have to do what you have to do. If it means writing a letter to your alumni association and giving them a piece of your mind and telling them
That was really cool, by the way.
don't send you brochures that you have no intentions of supporting a university that is complicit and harboring jihadists and radical Islamists. You do those things. You have no intentions of supporting a university that tramples on free speech rights, and you do what you have to do. And I do what I have to do each day, and most people do. They're going to have to do what they have to do each day. It's going to take some effort on all our parts.
Well, do you have some suggestions for how we weather the storm?
Yeah.
I'll be flat up honest with you. If you're not a person of faith, I don't think anyone's gonna weather it. To be honest with you, if you don't hold fast to what you believe in as a Christian, as a Jewish person, whatever faith that you have, but particularly I'm talking to Christians now.
Yeah.
I just don't think at this particular point in time you're going to maintain what you need to get through this. Because
I tell you what, Valanda, I think if you're not a person of faith, then you probably think there's no storm to weather.
I don't know. I know some people who are anti-Obama, anti this current government right now, who don't believe in much, and quite frankly, they're not very happy right now.
But are they atheists?
Excuse me?
Are they atheists?
One of them I know is an atheist, pretty much, yeah. And they see doom and gloom. Sometimes I get that way. I'll be honest with you, but I soon somehow something wrestles me back, and it and brings me back full circle. That says you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. So will remnants of my people in this country and even abroad. So. To me, it's about my faith. It's about, it's about, holding fast to what I believe in. Whether Obama believes in something or not, it doesn't matter to me. Whether he means these things, to prosper his friends or allies elsewhere, it doesn't. I'm not going to say it doesn't bother me as a person in the natural, but I don't get all. I would say. I'm not in the same despondent mode 24/7 because of what I believe, and I do believe eventually we will get through this. Now it depends on, like I say, I don't know what we're going to be left with if we continue to have a president that spins up to the zoo on vacations and everything else. But as Americans, we pulled through a lot. We've gone through 2 world wars. Several skirmishes. We'll come back after this. That's the way I have to look at it, and that's the way I do look at it.
Okay.
We've got to first. We can't be lazy.
No,
we've got to fight. We got to use our voice.
Amen. That's a very positive outlook, Volanda, and you indicated somewhere in there, person of faith, and I hear a lot from people that God is judging America, God is judging America, and there's an interesting book called A Harbinger that tracks the judgment, the known judgment of God judging Israel in Isaiah chapter 9, with the history of what happened to the nation of Israel, and the book Harbinger does that with 9/11, and so someday in the future we're going to do some shows on it. But there's 2 ways God judges. He directly judges, where he says, "Oh, you're doing that? Okay, I'm going to do this." And in fact, when the children of Israel, when Moses came down from Sinai, and he just took a little too long, and they built a golden calf, an idol, even after they had seen the majesty of the Lord, from the escape in the promised land, the provision of food and all of this. They built a golden calf. He said, okay, boom. And a bunch of bad things happened, the direct judgment of God. But there's also the indirect judgment of God. And I think I know we're experiencing the indirect judgment of God, and the best way of looking at that is that God has laws that are the laws of nature, and they're natural laws. If an individual chops off their hand, foolishly, and just chops it off, it'll you could survive, but guess what? You don't have a hand anymore, and now you live a life with something removed that was an asset to you, and you have to struggle through life without that, because you violated a physical law of chopping off your hand. You're not supposed to do that, okay? In the same sense, if you violate spiritual laws, there are natural consequences to spiritual laws. You don't need God magically doing something. If you violate these laws, if a husband and wife, God has said one man for one woman, and that's an eternal bond. If you violate that bond and go out and marry hang out with 4 other women at the same time, then you're gonna reap the discord and the discomfort and the pain and the agony of that decision, which goes outside the law of God. If you take that from a personal level and apply it on a national level, God doesn't stop being God because he's dealing with one individual or 330 million people. There's still natural laws that guide the way civilized people ought to function. If you violate those, you're going to experience the natural consequences of those. And in that sense, it's an indirect judgment of God because he told you so. Just like a little kid not listening to his father. Don't do that. Don't put your hand by the stove or you're going to burn it. God doesn't have to burn the kid's hand. The kid's going to burn his own hand and experience the consequences of him not following God's law, the natural law. I think we're in that phase. I really do. On fiscal policies, on interpersonal policies, on political policies, on national security policies. Can it be reversed? I don't know. Will we get through it? Yes. What will we look like on the other side of it? I don't know, but we're trying to make it work,
I just have one question to ask, Mr. Trento, because I know you were a race car driver at one time.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask, what is it like driving at 180, 200 miles per hour?
Well...
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Belinda.
I'll tell you. Mark said hello, by the way. He texted me. When everything is working properly, I was at Bridgehampton, Long Island, driving a Ferrari on the 3/4 of a mile straight on a test day. On test days, on a race day, every corner has corner workers and an ambulance all ready to go, all of that in the event of a problem. On test days, you got maybe 1 or 2 ambulances on the track. No, if it's a 15-turn track, you don't have corner workers anywhere. So if you get in trouble, you're seriously in trouble. If you get in trouble on a race day, somebody's there extremely quickly. I was on Bridgehampton, Long Island track, which was a beautiful track. It's now, I don't know, they made it into a golf course or something. And if anyone's ever raced or driven on that track, there's a series of a whole bunch of different turns. But you come on the entrance to the straightaway. It's a 3/4 of a mile straightaway, one of the longest road course straightaways in America. And I was driving a prototype Ferrari, a single seat, very fast car. We were testing the car, which meant we weren't quite sure how it was going to work. That's why we were testing it. And I shifted up to all the gears, and I'm about halfway, probably at about 150, 160, something like that. And all of a sudden, the front end of the car starts lifting up in the air. Now, I've almost flipped over racing, but I've managed never to flip over. The Ferrari started lifting up the front end. It got very light, and I think if I had a diaper on, I would have filled my diaper because as brave as you may be, once that your body just physiologically goes into I don't
Death
believe,
mode.
I don't believe.
I can't believe I'm going to die like this.
I'm going to flip over backwards, and there's no corner workers anywhere to get me out of this thing because you're always worried about fire. You're in your helmet and fire suit and all that. It went up, and now that's a very precarious situation because if you make one mistake and turn a car just a 1/4 of an inch the wrong way, the wind dynamics are so violent, it'll just flip the car. and I carefully brought it back down, and I pulled into the pits shaking like this. I said, I think we got a little problem at about 150, 160. So, but when everything's working properly, particularly during a race where everybody's going at those speeds, it's very bizarre. Drivers have phenomenal peripheral vision. You can almost see backwards. And you get into this psychological state in a zone where everything slows down at 150 miles, 160 miles an hour. And it used to always be very funny when I would finish. When you race, you do several sessions of warming up. And then when you actually race, you race. Well, when I would drive away from the track in the evening to go to the hotel, I had a Porsche. And I would be in the car, and I'd be going 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. And literally, it felt like you can jump out and walk. The car was going so slowly compared to the extreme. Yeah, it's very, very bizarre. But it's a pretty wild deal.
It's a wild ride.
Loved it, yeah. And the last race I drove in, because I got hurt, not racing, I got hurt some other way, was the Miami Grand Prix in the streets of Miami back in the late 80s. Racing through Biscayne and all of that stuff was a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun. So anyway, 43 minutes, and I'm sure President Obama's raced cars, just like he shot skeet birds.
Just like he bowls.
Skeet birds. Yeah, just like he bowls.
Yeah.
President Obama on President's Day, 43 minutes past 4 o'clock. You're with Tom Trento, CJ. It's race time. Yes, Danica Patrick. This is amazing. She's on the pole for the Daytona 500. This is a phenomenal feat for a very small and minute human being. You know, NASCAR's a 4,000-pound car and 800 horsepower or so, and it's a very, very physical with a steering wheel. It's unlike sports cars, which are more refined. For her to drive that thing at those speeds and be on the pole is an amazing feat for a woman physically, but she is an accomplished driver. I mean, she is a phenomenal driver. I'm rooting for her, that's for sure. So we'll see how she does at the Daytona 500. But to start in the pole and finish first, that's rare. That doesn't usually happen.
Yeah.
There's so many factors, but we're rooting for her here in Race Day on Trento Vision.
Which is when?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. Daytona 500 in February. That's where Dale Earnhardt got killed in a stupid accident, probably 10 years or so ago. All right, CJ, 44 past 4 o'clock. Let me tell you a little bit about Washington's birthday because it's President. Do we have somebody on?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, let's bring him on.
Yeah. We have Judah on the line.
Hi, Judah. You're with all of us here.
Yes.
Yes, hi. How are you all?
Good.
Good, thanks.
We're celebrating President's Day.
Well, our president plays a lot of golf, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, CJ thinks he should play more golf.
Yeah, I think he should play more golf and not do any work at all and never sign any papers and don't enact any executive orders. And also don't answer the phone.
I can go for that.
He hardly works at all anyway.
I can go for that.
In other words, he could retire.
Take an early retirement.
Yeah. Oh, I'll drink to that.
Yeah, no different than how he handles Benghazi. So, but go ahead, all yours. What's up, Judah?
Speaking of Benghazi, I'm wondering when these congressmen are going to pursue that. That may be a way that we can impeach him, but they're not pursuing it. Neither the Republicans or the Democrats. Democrats, I don't expect any of them hardly at all. Maybe a few to pursue it, but anyway, that's not why I called. The main reason I called is because I know you were pondering filing a lawsuit against FAU for denying you your constitutional rights, your First Amendment rights.
Right.
And I was just thinking that maybe either the Judicial Watch organization or that another organization, I think it's a Christian organization called the Center for Law and Justice, Secolo.
American Center for Law and Justice.
No,
yeah, Secolo. Maybe they could pro bono, go ahead and file on lawsuit on against FAU.
Let me give you an update. I'll give you an update because there's been developments as of today. Yes, the possibility of litigation is real, and the way the way that's determined is by looking at the facts on the ground to see if there's a sufficient case. And even if sometimes if there is a sufficient case, sometimes, and we've been doing this a long time, and we understand how these things work. Sometimes, even though you may have a grounds for litigation, the public relations component may be more effective in changing public policy than a long drawn out lawsuit, where once you enter into a lawsuit, you don't have the freedom anymore to do what we do extremely well. Mobilize people and move public thinking and move public opinion and move public policy. You're sequestered, if you will.
I thought that was just for the case at hand, like that you couldn't talk about the specifics of that case.
Yeah, you can't talk about the specifics of that case, and the lawyers say you can't don't
but
try the case.
But there's plenty of other First Amendment cases to talk about besides of your own.
Yeah, but if you want to see change, if you want to implement change at Florida Atlantic University, you file a lawsuit. It may take, will take 2 to 5 years to get through the litigation process with all the stuff that has to go on, and I've done this enough times to know. And probably $100,000-$200,000 to take it home. And that may even be with a lot of pro bono work, because there are hard costs involved with these things. So you go, okay, 2 to 5 years, I can impact some change through forcing a policy change. Or if you can use your media capability, use your activism capability, use your influence capability on the board of trustees, use community organizing. That could be more effective more quickly and be a greater thorn in the side of the defendant. So we are evaluating all of that. But what did occur? 2 things occurred that I'll share publicly. One was a serious, very similar problem with the same group, Students for Justice for Palestine, which is a Muslim Brotherhood Front organization. Everybody has to understand that. The Muslim Brotherhood, we were screaming this for the past 7 years, okay? 4 years ago, we're screaming the Muslim Brotherhood, oh, you people are crazy. They run Egypt. We said months before, when we saw in 2011, February, the revolutions occurring, we said the Brotherhood is behind this. We went on record. We made videos about it. So when we tell you the Muslim Brotherhood is behind Students for Justice for Palestine, they are. This is a Brotherhood front group. Well, they had a similar situation occurred at the college's University. What is it? CUNY, CUNY, College University of New York in the Brooklyn campus. SJP, Students for Justice for Palestine, were up there a week and a half ago, 2 weeks. And they were doing same sort of thing they were doing down here, Israeli Apartheid Week. And 4 students went in with questions to oppose the anti-Semitic, Jew-hating presentation. And the 4 Jewish students were physically thrown out of the room.
Wasn't that the one where one student was thrown down a flight of stairs too?
No, I didn't hear about that.
I think I heard something. Maybe that's the same one. I'm not sure. Okay, go on.
They were selected out. They I think they had yarmulkes on, and they had to leave. They were told to get out. The police took them out. Very similar to our situation. In fact, 2 of the guys that were thrown out here are in the studio right now, and then Mark and I weren't allowed into either of them. So it looks like we're investigating now the plans between Students for Justice in Palestine, between the Florida Atlantic campus and the Brooklyn campus. So we're in touch with the folks there. We're examining all the leadership and all of this to see what's behind this. A, B, I made a request for documents from the school, and they actually provided the documents. I wanted to see the guiding documents for the documents that guide these programs. I'll just leave it at that. And I have them in my hand. And let's just put it this way: they don't help the cause for Students for Justice for Palestine or FAU. They do not help their cause. They add weight to our cause. So stay tuned. We will be on that campus on Wednesday. We're going back on Wednesday. One of our very dear friends will be on the show tomorrow. You got to listen tomorrow. His name is Thule Woltz. Thule and his son Daniel, in April of 2009, 4 years ago, were in Tel Aviv at a shawarma restaurant and were blown up by a Palestinian suicide bomber. Thule suffered massive injuries, and Daniel hung on for 23 days and then died. Thule has been invited on campus by a different group, not the
SJP.
No, not them. He's been invited on campus to show a movie called Crossing the Line, which is a movie about how the Academy has crossed the line of anti-Semitism.
It was 2006.
I'm sorry, 2006. And April 2006. And what is that, 7 years? Wow.
Yeah.
That was a very dramatic event in my life. I'll tell you about sometime.
Oh no, yeah.
And
that video is what got me working for you.
Yep. And
I remember that incident. It was just so tragic. The young boy held on for a long time, and then he passed away.
Well, last year when our United West team was in Israel, we went to the restaurant and videotaped right in front of the restaurant, and I have that video. Maybe we'll show it. I don't think we'll show it tomorrow.
Don't show it tomorrow.
But Thule will be here tomorrow talking about his speaking event Wednesday at FAU, and we will go with him as he shows a movie, Crossing the Line, about anti-Semitism on the university campus, and takes questions from the audience. So everybody should go out, support Thule Woltz Wednesday night, 6:30 at FAU. We'll be there. We'll give you more information on that tomorrow.
Oh, without making a vow, I'll be there.
All right, excellent. We'll meet too, and we appreciate, one more minute, we appreciate your emails. I am making note of them, believe me, so we will be in touch. Okay?
All right, you're very welcome. You guys
Thank
have a nice
you, Judah.
evening.
Thank you very, very much.
Oh, look at the... Gosh, this hour went by so quickly.
And I have 50 things to get to here.
Yeah, we have a couple of actually fun things for President's Day to do.
Yes, we do. We'll start out. All right, here's how we're going to start out the next segment. Okay? I want you guys to pick any comedy team you could think of. Think of a comedy team that's like a sketch comics. Who can you think of? Mike?
Sketch comics?
Yeah. Two people that are partners in comedy.
Oh, Laurel and Hardy?
Laurel and Hardy, okay.
Lucy and Desi?
Lucy and Desi, keep going. CJ and I are going to be it. They're
Mork
both
and Mindy.
No, they're both men. They're both men, but we're going to be a comedy team. See if you can guess. One, it starts with Abbott. Abbott and Costello. When we get back after this break, you're going to be Abbott.
I'm going to be Abbott.
I'm going to be Costello. We're all going to tell you about President Obama's unemployment calculus. Abbott and Costello will tell you when we get back about President Obama's unemployment calculus. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Tom Trento can be reached at 561-319-5533 or Tom at TrentoVision.tv. And tune in again weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
This is Steve Kane, and let's face it, in this economy, everyone is cutting back. But now, thanks to Dr. Michael Blum, the one place you don't have to cut back is on your dental health. Right now, Dr. Blum is offering a special for Steve Kane listeners only. A free full exam, including consultation and x-rays, all at no charge. Dr. Michael Blum, with 20 years of experience and a reputation for being one of the finest dentists in all South Florida. Call and schedule your appointment today. 954-463-4999. That's 954-463-4999. Remember, this is for Steve Kane listeners only, so mention my name when you call. You can reach Dr. Blum at blumdentist.com.
The bond between a child and a horse is special. When that child is physically or mentally challenged, the results are magical. Horses and the Handicapped of South Florida has been providing equine-assisted therapy to hundreds of children, the majority of which could never afford this highly beneficial therapy on their own. It's a great cause, and here's a great way to help. Grab your boots and join us on Friday, March 1st at 7 p.m. at Ron Bergeron's Green Glades Ranch in Weston for the 3rd annual Wild West Night. This fun and exciting evening will feature great food and drink. Try an alligator Ron, live music with the Barron Sisters and the Andrews Morris Band. A live and silent auction featuring a Taylor Swift autographed guitar, live writing demonstrations, and much, much more. It's all to celebrate the legacy of Megan Morency. And all the proceeds go to Horses and the Handicap. Wild Wild West Night, Friday, March 1st. For tickets, visit hhsfl.org. That's hhsfl.org.
In the past, when a musician or band recorded a song that was worth owning, people would buy it. And that inspired artists to create more music. It was a rewarding time for both artist and listener. Today, many music lovers refuse to pay anything to own a new song. Why pay for music when it can be downloaded illegally for free? When you download music illegally, you're stealing, and it's not a victimless crime. You're denying payment for work that rightfully belongs to the artist. So please, don't download music, movies, or software illegally. Do what's right. Pay for them. Get them legally and support aspiring artists who are busy creating your next favorite song.
Illegal downloads hurt, but you have the power to stop them. To learn more, go to www.ncpc.org/getreal. That's ncpc.org/getreal. Brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council and the Bureau of Justice Assistance, U.S. Department of Justice.
This is Health and Wealth Radio, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, and WKIS HD3, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
In USA Radio News, I'm Hope Duggar. A Coast Guard official says the cause of the engine room fire on the Carnival cruise ship Triumph was a leak in a fuel oil return line. In a teleconference Monday, Commander Teresa Hatfield estimated that the investigation of the disabled ship would take 6 months. She said the Bahamas is leading the investigation, with the Coast Guard and National Transportation Safety Board leading U.S. interest in the probe. She said investigators have been with the ship since it arrived Thursday in Mobile, and interviews have been conducted with passengers and crew. A border guard in the former Soviet nation of Belarus has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for failing to protect the country from foreign teddy bears. The country's Supreme Court says the guard was convicted of failing to report the intrusion of a light plane that dropped hundreds of teddy bears decked out in parachutes and slogans supporting human rights. Several top defense officials had already been sacked over the incident from last July. It was a work of two Swedes who wanted to show support for human rights activists. This is IRN USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Janelle from Missouri. I've been doing Andy Willoughby's 3-step plan for almost 4 years. I love it because I'm able to do the things that I'm passionate about, like youth ministry, going on our youth trips, and homeschooling. We have a really busy schedule. I'm able to plug in my business into the free hours that we have. I love that it gives our family extra choices, like traveling. I love the people that I work with. I love doing the 3-step plan.
Hi, how in the world are you anyway? I'm Andy Willoughby. The 3-step
three-step plan home business system has been helping people find financial freedom for over 10 years. And I think we could help you too. What people like best about the three-step plan is you can actually have customers calling you don't have to be a salesperson, and you get to work with nice family-oriented people. To find out how you could start making more money working from home, go to 3stepusa.com. That's 3stepusa.com or call 800-480-2102. 800-480-2102.
European finance ministers have imposed trade and economic sanctions on North Korea because of its nuclear test last week. The action increases the number of North Koreans who are subject to a travel ban and an asset freeze. The finance ministers say they condemn the test in the strongest terms. An opportunity for school choice in Tennessee is on the back burner for now.
Parents in Tennessee may have an opportunity to choose where their children go to school. A bill introduced by State Senators Brian Kelsey and Mark Norris would give parents choices other than the failed government schools for their children's education. While the plan passed the State Senate in 2011, it was sidetracked in the House. It's now being studied by a so-called task force, which is looking into the plan's feasibility. Critics claim that the idea of allowing parents a choice in where their children get their education would take money away from the government schools.
For the latest news and analysis, log on to IRNUSAnews.com.
All right, cement's been flooded. Hey, Flo, it's time to...
Pretend we're celebrities getting our stars?
No, it's time to trowel.
Oh, yeah, trowel. Definitely.
You want to write your name in it, don't you?
Maybe just a smiley face?
All right.
Insuring your business vehicles with Progressive is like having Flo on the road with you. 24/7 live support, online bill pay, and expert claims. Now that's Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. United Financial Casualty Company Affiliates.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson says his former congressman's son is under strict medical supervision as he struggles with bipolar disorder, compounded by the stresses of his legal troubles. The elder Jackson released a statement today thanking those who have prayed for Jesse Jackson Jr. and his family. He also calls the hurt indescribable. Federal prosecutors Friday charged Jackson Jr. with conspiracy for allegedly spending $750,000 in campaign money on personal expenses. The Chicago Democrat's wife, former Alderman Sandra Jackson, was charged with filing false joint federal income tax returns. Jackson Sr. says he also hopes his son's apology will be accepted. The NBA has lost one of its most successful owners. Correspondent Mark Myers has more.
Lakers Hall of Fame owner Jerry Buss has died at the age of 80. Buss had been hospitalized for cancer, but the immediate cause of death was kidney failure. Buss bought the Lakers in 1979 and transformed the team into one of basketball's most glamorous and entertaining. He presided over 10 championships, from the Magic Johnson Showtime dynasty in the 80s to the Kobe Bryant era. Mark Myers, Los Angeles.
Burger King hasn't really been sold to McDonald's, even if that's what Burger King's Twitter account said today. The account was apparently hacked, and the company's Twitter picture was changed to a McDonald's logo. Burger King says it has reached out to Twitter to suspend the account. Most of the posts contain racial slurs and other offensive material. With IRN USA Radio News, I'm Hope Duggar.
America's Radio News, your window on the world every day.
I'm Rachel Sutherland, along with Ernie Brown. We're following these stories on America's...
Here's some great news from Tom Trento, host of the daily WNN Trento Vision Show. Due to the unparalleled success of the Trento Vision Show, you now have an amazing opportunity to advertise on the Trento Vision Show. If you want more information about this excellent opportunity for your business, please contact Tom Trento at 561-319-5533, or you can email him, tom@trentovision.tv. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or tom@trentovision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and trentovision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Okay, we're back. Alive and in color.
We're back.
On the 18th, this President's Day. It's nobody's birthday.
The 1-8.
But we're calling it President's Day because that's what the legislators have determined. You're with Tom Trento, TrentoVision.tv. What does that mean, TV? That means on your little computer, which is where all of life revolves around. Not only can you balance your checkbook, not only can you find out how quickly the Earth revolves around the sun, not only can you know who the president of Liechtenstein is. Vaterland is the paper of record at Liechtenstein. Did you know that? Vaterland.
It's a monarchy, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Not only can you do all those things, but you can watch this show. Well, why would you want to do that? Because you have nothing better to do with your life than to learn.
Because we make jihad fun.
We make jihad fun, yes. And we are also on WNN on the radio side. You can listen on the radio. You can listen on iHeartRadio. You can go to WW. I don't want to confuse you here, but WWNN 1470 Radio. Is that what it is?
Yep.
No, WWNNradio.com. That's a little too complicated. But you can go to the website and just listen live there. So look, there's no reason why you can't, in the middle of your job, be listening for 3 hours. Put your earplugs in. Tell your boss, I'm doing constructive work for our company because we will help you be better employees in your company. And we will explain to you why the world is the way it is right now. That's what we're all about.
Yes. Why is the world upside down?
But it became more upside down about 5 minutes ago while you guys were on a break. I cannot believe what is going to happen. I just got notified.
Okay.
You may know, I didn't know, and I'd rather not know, but I do know. Okay? You ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. Israel, you know, it's President's Day, and you know our president, President Barack Hussein Obama, is going to Israel in March. You do know that.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. His first visit as the president. And the world became a little more upside down. Here we go. Israel, I'm reading the first sentence of an email I just got, which is an article published in Newsmax. Israel will award... Do I need to go any further? Israel will award President Barack Obama the country's Presidential Medal of Distinction during his upcoming visit. All right, we're done. We're going home. We're going home.
It did win the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
The nation of Israel is awarding President Obama their highest Medal of Honor.
Because?
Israeli President Shimon Peres said Monday.
Well, enough said. That explains it.
That Obama will be recognized for his, quote, unique and significant contribution to strengthening the state of Israel and the security of its citizens, end quote. Obama has often had a tense relationship with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the Jewish state's West Bank settlement policies and the lack of peace process with the Palestinians. But Perez and the committee behind the award noted Obama's overall friendship and backing of the Iron Dome missile defense system. Israel's Presidential Medal of Distinction is comparable to France's Legion of Honor or the Order of Canada. You're shaking your head, sir. What's the problem?
The problem is nothing could be farther from the truth as far as him being a friend of the state of Israel, as witnessed by Chuck Hagel being nominated for Secretary of Defense.
CJ, explain to me your Jewish brethren and sisterin what they're doing here, please.
What are they doing? They're rolling out the red carpet for him.
a text.
And why are they doing this?
Somebody just wrote. Mark
Why
wrote.
are they doing
Mark
this?
texted.
This
Just
is-
shoot me.
Yeah, this is a president who truly believes that the lack of peace and harmony in the world is not because of the Muslim Brotherhood and Islamic Jihad. It's because Jewish people are building apartments for Jewish people in the capital of the Jewish people country, which is Jerusalem.
Well, explain. We understand.
Jewish people building apartments is the major cause of instability in the world.
In the world.
Period. That is his worldview. That's the worldview of his State Department. That's the worldview of his current and former secretaries of state. That is the worldview of his nominee for Secretary of Defense. That is the worldview of his nominee to be the head of the CIA.
So Mordecai Kedar, who said land has nothing to do with any of this from the Islamic Jihad point of view, is completely off base. We've gone through the parliamentary system of Israeli government and the distinction between the role in a parliamentary system of a prime minister versus a president. President is more ceremonial.
The president is...
Does Netanyahu know about this?
Ceremonial figure.
Did Netanyahu have to give approval, or is this like, screw Netanyahu, I'm giving a guy an award?
I don't think he has to ask.
The president doesn't.
I don't think the president has to ask.
Is
The president
Netanyahu
is a socialist anyway.
Is Netanyahu in agreement with Israel's highest award being given to President Obama? That makes Netanyahu
Do you know
look like
what?
an idiot.
No, you know who?
Unless it's a total cool little scam somehow.
Of course, it's a scam, but
There's a
think of the
recording
people-
device in the award.
think of the people who won the award and what they must have done to deserve the award.
Who won? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Oh.
But I'm sure Kofi Annan didn't get one. I'm sure Butchers Ghali didn't
Ghali,
get
yeah.
one.
Bin Ki
I'm sure
Moon.
Gaddafi didn't get one.
Oh, Lord. If anybody knows anything about this crazy award,
We need to ask some of our Israeli friends. about
obviously,
this.
because we're very objective and we're black and white, we don't see the legitimacy for the president to get an award from Israel, a country that he is delegitimizing in many respects. But we may miss the.
Well, maybe it's a hospitality thing. Like, we're going to trash you in the media pretty badly.
Yeah, but it's not the key.
After you leave.
It's not the key to Sterot, I mean, it's the highest award the country gives. See if you can find some of the names of the previous winners or recipients of this thing.
Yeah.
On its
really
face,
revolting.
it really is. On its face, it looks like a slap in the face of Netanyahu. And if it's just to kowtow to the president to say keep the money coming and keep helping us, I mean, that makes Israel seem so small. The only thing I can think of, folks, is the Israeli computer technicians are amazing. They have planted inside the award a device that will record everything President Obama says or does for the next 4 years. Now, that's a good reason to give this thing. And once you touch it, somehow whatever oils are on it go into your body, and that's really where the devices are.
Oh, no.
Something like that.
Oh, no.
Because this
But
makes
do you
no
think
sense.
he would send it back like he sent back the bust of
huh.
Churchill?
Yeah. This
is
is
it
very
the Medal
interesting.
of Honor?
Distinction.
It's called the Presidential Medal of Distinction. It's numero uno up top. All right, anyway, that's a little bit of upside down news. Be sure, folks, on March 1st, set aside the time to go to the Wild West Night out in Weston. You can call the studio 888-565-1470. This is a benefit to Megan Morency, who was unfortunately fatally injured years ago, and this is a fundraiser to help handicapped people, children and adults, to improve their physical and emotional capabilities through interaction with horses. It's on Ron Bergeron's ranch, Green Glades Ranch out in Weston, Friday, March 1st, 7 o'clock. The Trento Vision team, we will be at this. It's going to be a fun evening. Events, food, entertainment, all of that, and Horses and the Handicapped of South Florida. So 888-565-1470 for more information and for tickets. If you want to jump in on the conversation, today's President's Day.
And we do have a caller.
Let me tell you a little bit about this. Then you're going to be treated to Abbott and Costello. Now, President's Day is really a bizarre holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Washington's birthday is a United States federal holiday celebrated on the third Monday. Years back, it used to be on the 22nd. I remember those days. Then we had this move to save fuel and extend the weekend and all that, saying any holiday close to the weekend, let's stick it on Monday. And we got a 3-day weekend. So there's actually a law, federal law, that allows these days to be added on as a Monday. And this one is called, I don't know what it's called, because it depends on where you live as to what you call it. But on the federal level, it's called President's Day. But if you live in Massachusetts, the state officially celebrates Washington's birthday today. They call it Washington's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And Massachusetts directs the governor to issue an annual President's Day proclamation on May 29th, my birthday, to John F. Kennedy, honoring the presidents with Massachusetts roots. Now, you following this? Today they go, oh yeah, it's whatever in Massachusetts. The real President's Day is May 29th, honoring Kennedy, but they also said, we're going to honor all presidents from Massachusetts, John Adams, John Quincy Adams, and Calvin Coolidge. So they got their own thing going on May 29th. But if you go to Alabama, Alabama uniquely observes the day today as Washington and Jefferson Day, even though Thomas Jefferson's birthday is in April. Okay? So follow me. If we take a ride in Connecticut or Missouri and Illinois, while Washington's birthday is a federal holiday, Abraham Lincoln's birthday is a state holiday falling on the 12th, regardless of the day of the week. And if you're in Virginia, the holiday is known as George Washington Day. So not all the states bought into the federal thing, even though there's a federal holiday. And here's the best sentence of all. Today, the federal holiday has become well known for being a day in which many stores, especially car dealers, hold sales.
Furniture. It's a big furniture and mattress sale.
Here we are celebrating the wonder of our presidents, and we're selling cars and furniture. Okay.
Well, we're keeping the economy going, which is very important.
And the ads are always great. You know, you got George Washington Day. You know, buy a new couch. You got Washington's picture there, dressed with a little axe and his cherry tree, and you're selling furniture. Oh, capitalism. You know, what are we going to do without it? 19 minutes past 5 o'clock. It's 75 degrees in here. What's going on outside? Is it cold? Is it?
Okay, I didn't know you were going to ask.
Yeah. It looks like I'm looking out. I don't see
colder.
The hawks. The vultures aren't around.
It's too cold for them.
Okay.
It's 68 degrees.
68 degrees.
And cloudy.
In South Florida. But we will brighten up your day as we bring you more information on our president, President Barack Hussein Obama. And if you're interested to call in, 888-565-1470. What we want to know today, folks, on this beautiful day where you buy new cars and a new couch, we want to know what you think of President Obama. Just right from the gut. What are your thoughts? What are your fears? What are your concerns? Or if you like the guy, what do you think? But we want to share right now. Abbott and Costello want to share a little routine that is classic Abbott and Costello style. Who's on first? But the writer of this is what's his name? Barry Levinson. No, Levinson's a great movie writer. Has done a lot of comedies. Before the election, he put this little bit together and illustrated the absurdity of President Obama's unemployment calculus, the way the administration gets to the 8% number. And sometimes comedy is the shortest route to pure truth. So we have not rehearsed this.
No.
Not in the least. I haven't really even read through it. Well, I read through it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we apologize in advance.
Yes, we apologize in advance for the Abbott and Costello routine, but you'll love it. All right, let me lay it out here.
Oh, am I Costello or Abbott? Who goes
you're
first?
Abbott. You're Abbott. I'm
So you
Costello.
go
I'm
first.
Italian. Costello is Italian from Paterson, New Jersey.
You go first.
I'm going to read the introduction, then we'll get into the bit. Unemployment, as reported, is at 8.3%. It's a little bit down now, 7.9, but we're going with the piece that was written just before the election. But it's actually over 16%. Some smart statistician came up with a distinction, a sleight of hand to make the unemployment number tolerable rather than frightening. Don't forget, this is before the 6th of November. The concept was simple. 8.3% are unemployed and actively looking for work. All right, I got two guys in here. You represent 8% of the people. You're unemployed. You're going out every day looking for a job. Say, I'm going to find a job. I'm going to find a job. I'm going to find a job. You got to say that.
I'm going to find a job. I'm going to find a job. I'm going to find a job.
Okay, you're 8%.
The 16% includes those who gave up and are no longer actively looking for work.
You're 8%. You're going to say, I quit looking for a job. I quit looking for a job. I quit looking for a job.
I quit looking for a job. I quit looking for a job. I quit looking for a job.
Say yours.
I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a job.
I quit looking for a job. I quit looking for a job. I quit looking for a job.
Okay, 8% and 8%. We got 8% pounding the pavement every day looking for a job. We got 8% that said, the hell with it. I'm just going to stay home and watch cartoons. Okay? That's 16%. Both, any of you people have jobs?
Not really.
No, neither of you groups. You're not employed because you're looking for a job. You're not employed because you quit looking for a job. So what's the real number?
0, because we're going to subtract.
16%.
16% not working.
Not working. Okay. All right. That's the number.
Yeah.
So those casualties. So what the Obama administration has done has said the people in this group that are just tired of looking for a job,
they don't count.
No longer.
They're out of the workforce.
They're out of the workforce, and they don't count as someone who is unemployed because they're not looking for a job.
You can't be unemployed unless you're looking for a job.
Looking for a job. So this group ceases to exist. This 8% is a fake, a sham, and worthy of an Abbott and Costello routine, says Barry Levinson, a writer, director, producer of movies and televisions. If that great comedy team were still alive, well, they are. They've been resurrected right here. The routine on our unemployment woes may go something like this. Let me get a drink of water. I'm Costello. Who are you?
Abbott.
Yes.
You
got a
Rubio. That's your Rubio.
Yeah, my Rubio moment. Now here's a Rubio moment. He made over $100,000 already. They're selling his water online for his campaign or whatever. They made over $100,000. It's entitled Rubio Water. Okay, here we go. Oh, well, you gotta. I have a male voice. Let me hear your voice. Give us a male version of CJ voice.
No way.
No, just like hello, Tom. Try to do that. just drop it down a little bit.
Hello, Tom.
Yes.
No.
Still CJ. A little lower. Hello, Tom. You can't do that.
I can't do that.
Do your girly voice. Maybe Abbott was a little light in his loafers. Maybe, who knows? All right, here we go. Costello. Now, we're not going to say Costello, Abbott and Costello once we get going. Okay. The audience has to follow along, okay? So you're Abbott, I'm Costello. Hey, Lou! Hey, Abbott! Now, what was Abbott's first name? Bud Abbott. Bud Abbott. Hey, Bud. I'm Costello. I want to talk about the unemployment rate in America.
Good subject. Terrible times. It's about 8%.
That many people are out of work?
No, that's 16%.
No, Abbott, you just said 8%.
8% unemployed.
Right. 8% of people are out of work.
No, that's 16%.
Oh, okay, so it's 16% unemployed.
No, that's around 8%.
Wait a minute. Is it 8% or 16%?
8% are unemployed. 16% are out of work.
Wait a minute, man. If you're out of work, are you unemployed?
No. You can't count the out of work as unemployed. You have to look for work to be unemployed.
But they're out of work.
No, you missed the point.
What point?
Someone who doesn't look for work can't be counted with those who look for work. It wouldn't be fair.
To who?
The unemployed.
But they're all out of work.
No, the unemployed are actively looking for work. Those who are out of work stopped looking. They gave up. And if you give up, you are no longer in the ranks of the unemployed.
Oh, so if you're off the unemployment rolls, that would count as less unemployment.
Unemployment would go down. Absolutely.
Oh, the unemployment goes down just because you don't look for work.
Absolutely, it goes down. That's how you get to 8%. Otherwise, it would be 16%. You don't want to read about 16% unemployment, do you?
No. That would be frightening.
Absolutely.
Wait. I got a question for you. That means there's two ways to bring the unemployment number down.
2 ways is correct.
Unemployment can go down if someone gets a job.
Correct.
And unemployment can go down if they stop looking for a job.
Bingo.
So there are 2 ways to bring unemployment down, and the easier way of the 2 is just stop looking for work.
Now you're thinking like an economist.
I don't even know what the hell I just said. Budding. Okay. Did you follow that? Anybody follow that? Was it easy to follow? Timing. You got to get the timing is the key to that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, we have to rehearse next time.
No, I think it got across. You did a good job, Abbott. Yes.
You're not going to make me watch this after, are you? CJ, for your homework tonight, check out that Abbott and Costello routine and come prepared to do better next time.
No, but really, that you talk about transparency with this president, and just the mere fact that you cook the books like this, that the people that stop looking for work are no longer counted as unemployed, is mind-boggling. But again, you can't win elections. If you're, the theory was historically in the United States of America, if you're over 8 or 9%, you ain't getting reelected. So if you're at 16%, you're DOA, right?
Right.
I don't think so. I think President Obama could have said, "Oh, we just found out there's 20% unemployed. More reason why I need to be the president and give you free stuff."
Exactly.
So you know what? Unbelievable. Anyway, 888-565-1470. We're talking about all things Obama. And we just mentioned that Israel is going to, here we are beating the hell out of President Obama on President's Day because that's what he deserves, he and his policies. Mm-hmm. And the nation of Israel decides today on President Day, no less.
Well, maybe because they really want to make sure that he's going to be polite while he's there, and it's hard to be really rude and smack people down when they just gave you a medal.
Yeah, well, if it's anything,
I just think that Shimon Peres loves Obama, and he orchestrated it.
Yeah, if we got a text, don't give up our day jobs on our comedy routine.
Oh, that is so not nice.
That's okay.
Gosh.
I actually have done a little bit of acting, and you have to rehearse. You have to rehearse.
That is so not
a cold
nice.
read like that is always a little rough. It's okay. You can do it. We can do it. The writing was a little. It was okay.
Well, I'm not going to blame the writer or the director. If you didn't like my performance,
No, it's President's Day. They give Israel gives the president publicizes the fact they're doing this on President's Day. Well, let me read you another.
Do you want to take some calls?
Yeah, let me read this update first.
Okay.
We had a question the last hour on the update at the FAU situation. And I was sent an email in the interim looks like the Sun Sentinel did a story on the FAU situation, which was yesterday. They did the story yesterday.
Well, they covered it. It was on one of their blogs
Earlier in the
last
week.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is an update. And video companies accusing Florida Atlantic University of violating, we're not a video company.
Yeah.
We're part of the media. It's First Amendment rights, Trento Vision, self-described activist media group. That's pretty good.
The link you sent me won't go there.
If you can send her that link.
I have no power.
Oh, I'll resend it. Focuses on Islamic terrorism issue, says a video cameraman was twice kicked out of group of students called Students for Justice in Palestine, whatever. Yes, that's all true. On the 12th, it happened again. You know, they basically report on what we've told you. But what is of special note is one of the comments. Oh, I didn't see the first comment here. Now, you know how this works. The Sun Sentinel wrote an article about our confrontation at Florida Atlantic University on the 6th of February and on the 12th of February. The 6th, we were trying to videotape Greta Berlin and her speech so that we can play it to the world. She's a Marxist, co-founder of Free Gaza movement, and was involved in the flotilla, May 30th, 2010.
And several others.
8 or 9 Turkish ships trying to, land on the beaches of Gaza. It was her Gaza invasion.
Yeah.
And then on the...
To arm Hamas.
Yes, and then on the 12th, we were going to videotape Josh Rubner, who was doing a teach-in.
On the Zionist conspiracy to undermine
Look,
the American
I
government.
don't get it. FAU people, Muslims, Christians, Jews. I'm going to ask a question. The answer to my question is because you always you edit in such a way that you make us look like idiots. Okay. Well, and the question is, why don't you allow people to videotape your presentation? You advertise it publicly. You're not hiding in somebody's basement. You're at a university in America, and you go, nobody can videotape this. Tell me the common sense behind that. Everything we do publicly, any you nitwits can come in with your cameras and videotape it, and you can edit any crazy way you want to. That's your prerogative. That's America. You can do whatever you want. We tape ourselves, and we have a record of what we said. And if you do a crazy video about us, and if anybody even looks at it, and it becomes an issue, we'll say, well, here's the record of the event. Make up your own mind. You can't do that because your presentation is what's offensive, not the editing of your presentation. Right. Your message is offensive, not the editing of your message.
Your actions are offensive.
Your actions are offensive, not the editing of it. That's why you have to suppress free speech on a university campus. The balls you people have to take advantage of the dumb officials at FAU in that manner, well, we're going to put a lot of pressure on all you guys, and things are going to change there. Listen to Greta Berlin. Somebody writes, Greta Berlin is a neo-Nazi German whose primary goal is to finish the work of Hitler, her hero she started. She, like the rest of the anti-Israel crowd, cannot afford to have her talks to her supporters publicized because they know that Jew hatred will never win support with the broad American public. Her attempt to blame the Holocaust on the Zionists, she blames the Holocaust. How does she do that? On the Zionists.
The so-called.
How did the Zionists cause the Holocaust? Rather than the Nazis.
She means the so-called Holocaust.
Okay. Her calls for the extermination of Israel, which would result in another 6 million dead, repulsed the average American. That's somebody writing in response to the Sun Sentinel's argument. So when they come to speak, this writer is saying, it must be a secret. This is on the Sun Sentinel page today. Must be a secret. But that's the point we just made. But student groups that receive funding from the university are public and not private entities, therefore cannot hide their activities from the public. That's why we're fighting this. I didn't write this. It's understandable. I never read this before. It's understandable as racist hate groups, they are embarrassed by the speakers they bring and hate the propaganda. But the solution would be to stop promoting genocide against Jews, not to hide that they are promoting genocide against Jews. All right, that's somebody wrote that. Here's the question and point. This is Greta Berlin's comment. She wrote yesterday on the 17th, Sunday, at 11:14 p.m. at night. So Greta's up late these nights.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, Greta wrote. Greta Berlin. Who's Greta Berlin again?
Free Gaza movement.
Freedom Sailors.
She was the one that we went to videotape, and we ran a videotape of the confrontation with the police,
Mm-hmm.
and then we followed Greta out, and all the questions that were asked.
Well, wait a second. Let's make clear that the reason why you followed her out was because the police told you there were to be no interviews or videotaping in the room and to go outside to do interviews. So you followed her outside to ask her to do an interview when she wouldn't do an interview in the room. It's not like you were
No, we were there to do an
going
interview.
outside to harm her in any way. You wanted to interview her outside as the police told you.
Well, we've done this hundreds and hundreds of times. So far, 0 people harmed by Tom Trento and the United West or the Trento Vision team. 0 people harmed. So far, 2 or 3 arrests on the other side attacking our people.
Mhm.
Convictions on the other side attacking our people.
Yep.
So I think the record speaks for itself. Show me anywhere where I've ever harmed anybody in any of these confrontations. I harm them with words, actually with questions, like, why did you do this? Or what about this? Or why do you want to hide?
Or explain your position.
Yeah,
Or what
that's-
did you say in the room when you wouldn't let us in?
Yeah, when you harm their feelings,
Yeah.
they view that as you physically have violated their sensibilities.
And questioning their motives and their
Oh, that's even worse.
is how you hurt their
They want the
feelings.
Sharia. They don't want free speech. They don't want that aggressive confrontation and polemically on campus. What are they doing on a campus if they don't want that stuff? I don't get this. All right, here's Greta Berlin's explanation. Thank God that we have a videotape of the whole record. So if a serious person wanted to evaluate what she said
Yeah.
based upon the facts, they can look at the tape.
Yeah.
Simple. She says, Greta Berlin, Tom Trento is a hate-filled and racist bigot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 words. She got hate-filled racist bigot. She used 50% of her 4 words and got hate-filled racist bigot. Tom Trento is a hate-filled and racist bigot who verbally attacked both Audrey and me. How do you verbally attack somebody?
Throw your dentures at them.
That's pretty good. Throw your dentures at him. Who's Audrey? Is that the lady that was with her?
Yes.
And me, as we came out of an event talking about our book, Freedom Sailors.
Yeah, Freedom Sailors. Gun
That's
runners
funny.
for Hamas. Freedom
Sailors. His Islamophobic ravings, that's good writing, are an example of someone who is not very well informed about Israel's ongoing brutality against the Christian and Muslim Palestinians. Now, the brutality would be what? Israeli brutality against Christian and Muslim Palestinians. What is the brutality? Killing them?
Starving them.
Starving them?
Yeah.
They're not allowed to eat?
No.
Okay, starving them.
Sand cakes.
Audrey, sand cakes. Audrey and I were invited to speak about the first voyage of the Free Gaza boats. Oh, this lady is in another dreamland. She's. I read this before. It was read to me. So she's in her 60s. So we know she's probably early stages of dementia. Possibly. I mean, the way
I
she
think
writes.
she's still high from the 60s.
Okay, there we go. Audrey and I were invited to speak about the first voyage of the Free Gaza boats and to offer the book to students who wanted to read about the voyages, 5 of which landed in Gaza successfully. Instead, Trento and his thugs pushed us around. Okay, Trento and his thugs pushed us around. Now, if Trento and his thugs pushed us around, stepped on my suitcase.
Am I a thug?
And
Do I look like a thug? I can't even lower my voice to do Abbott and Costello.
stepped on my suitcase and intimidated 2 women in their 60s. Then followed us out in the parking lot yelling at us. Some of that is actually correct. The thugs, CJ, you look a little thuggish.
Yeah.
Mark was there with the camera.
I'm Positively
And,
ferocious.
Yeah, if you think that is acceptable behavior, I am appalled. We had no idea they were out in the hallway lying in wait like snakes in the grass. She's a pretty good
We were out in the hallway because you didn't let us in the room.
snakes in the grass, and we have no obligation to answer their verbal attacks, which are questions. Okay.
Yeah.
No, of course you don't have an obligation to answer. Question is, why wouldn't you answer the question? Why wasn't we? The question we asked was, and it's on the tape. Why don't you want the press to videotape what you're saying? That was the verbal attack. Shame on all of them. Thank God one of us had a nephew there to protect us. He was a big goon.
Yeah,
he was about 6'8", about 300 pounds, big, strong guy. And he stood in my way, stood in Mark's way. I just walked around him. He started pushing Mark out of the way. I mean, he physically was pushing
and
Mark.
And it was during that time that Greta tripped on her suitcase.
She tripped on her suitcase, yeah.
And then she looked at Mark and tried to...
At me.
She looked at you. And, well, she
She
looked
said
at one of you guys and said, hey, did you just try to knock that out of my hand? Did you just assault me?
Yeah, Trento. Instead,
And Mark
Trento and his
said,
thugs.
no, you kicked over your suitcase.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, Trento and his minions. First, they were thugs.
Yeah.
Now they're minions.
Yeah.
Think it's perfectly okay to attack two older women, one of them Jewish.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such a
Yeah.
reach.
All right, well, we have a couple of callers on the line.
I know what we can do. Why don't we invite her on the show?
I don't think she would do it.
Greta, baby, are you out there? Or Audrey, whoever you are, or your nephew?
Or any of your minions.
I don't know if the nephew can string a sentence together. Didn't seem like it that night. But you have a open invitation, Greta Berlin, to come on the show. You can sit in the studio.
You can spew your spew.
And I promise the thugs won't attack you. You can Skype in.
Yeah.
You can call in, whatever you want. I will give you 15 minutes to make your case uninterrupted. You take 15 minutes, say whatever you want, and then we have a discussion for 15 minutes. And if you want to stay after that, you stay on the line. And this is how free speech functions. You're the phony that's out there making money. You want to compare W-2s for the last year and see which one of us made more money? I'll gladly show you my W-2 if you show me your W-2, how much money you made, and we'll compare who's making money off of this gig and see your real motivation behind it, because it isn't free speech. We know that. You're
She's
trying.
not interested in free speech. How does anybody who supports Hamas, who supports jihad, who calls for genocide against the Jews be for free speech?
Yeah, she's a emotionally insecure. We've seen a lot of people like this. She's a sad person. She's a burnt-out hippie, Marxist, all of that.
Yeah.
Looking for some purpose in life, and found a cause where, because she's a white woman, she will get some notoriety if she takes a stand. And once you taste that the thrill of the theater, the smell of the crowd, and the roar of the grease paint, it's addictive. That's where she is. Otherwise, she would come on shows like this, and she won't.
No.
But we will pursue you, Greta, with a formal invitation.
You know what it's like? It's like the nerdy, geeky kid in high school or something like that who joins a cult to be popular.
That's exactly what it's like. You know, you join the Satanists for Sharia. Beloved Zionists, I'm running. What is that? Oh,
believes that the Zionists helped run the concentration
So she says the Zionists helped run the concentration camp, so they were responsible for the Holocaust. Okay. Proximate cause, I see. All right, at any event, that's our little Greta situation update. What do you have? Do you have some folks that want to come on?
Yes,
Let's
I
do
have
it.
Alan on the line.
Alan, hi, you're with Tom and CJ. How are you?
Hello, Tom. Am I getting through?
Yeah, did you just hear?
Right. You know, I'm in and out here. I have to run in and out. But I picked up a little bit of your talk about Obama getting some top medal. It's like the Legion of Honor in France. It's not being given basically by the Israeli government. It's being given by Shimon Peres, the president. Did you discuss that? Who's giving it to him?
Yeah.
I wasn't on at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's the difference?
Well, the big difference is Shimon Peres, is a radical lefty. He wants Netanyahu out of office. in conjunction with Obama wanting Obama out of office. And
Obama wanting Netanyahu out of office.
Obama wanting Netanyahu out of office.
Yeah.
So they're going behind, and they're kicking Netanyahu behind the knees by embarrassing Netanyahu, by giving Obama, who is disliked by about 68% of the Israelis.
It's more.
Yeah, well, you know, but they're giving him this award. This is basically to knock the foundations out of Netanyahu. And if there is another election, you know, for the Knesset. But this is just a radical leftist move on the part of Shimon Peres and the rest of them.
Who, by the way, was defeated by Netanyahu for the premiership back in 1996 during Netanyahu's first term.
They hate Netanyahu, and this is Obama's plan. I mean, this man is so underhanded and so deceitful and deceptive.
Oh, well, let me ask you this, Al. Let me ask you this. Obviously, most of the world who are not aware or inside the nuances of the Israeli government will see this as an award coming from the Israeli government, the nation of Israel, thereby supporting and securing and enhancing Obama's narrative, I'm the best friend Israel ever had. Now, Netanyahu, he's got a dog in this fight. If you were his advisor, how would you have him respond to something that is so obviously, a thumb in his eye?
Well, you know what I would do? I would contact Eric Cantor. I would contact John Boehner, and I would say, the next time I come to the United States, could you please award me the Congressional Medal of Honor or whatever the hell you call it when I come to your country? If he did that, the press and the media in this country would go berserk. Now, that's what I would do, but if he just speaks up about it more, it'll just have this thing fly around the world. He should keep his mouth shut basically on this Netanyahu and not say anything, because he can repudiate this.
I think Netanyahu will congratulate him publicly.
Yeah, he'll have to go and play along with
He'll do the diplomacy thing.
Yeah, but I mean, when that
And
happens,
say, this is a down payment on the hit to Iran that you're going to do.
well, when that happens, I mean, this was a brilliant move by Shimon Peres.
No, it's not Shimon Peres. It's Obama. This is a brilliant move by Obama.
So you
And
think
James
he
Carville.
orchestrated? You think he orchestrated it when he sent all his team over there to
His
prep
advance
everything?
team. I'm
Yeah.
not coming unless you make me look good while I'm here.
Well, this is James Carville move. This is a brilliant Democrat move. This is what they do all the time. And this basically will cut down Netanyahu in the view of the Jewish voters in this country. It'll be ballyhooed by all of the radical Jewish groups, J Street, Americans for Peace Now, and Rabbis for Human Rights, will say, look at this. Israel loves Obama and despises Netanyahu. This is absolutely adding fuel to the fire for the destruction of Israel.
Okay, so what do we do? What are the pro-Israel, pro-Zionist activists worldwide here in America? What do we do to respond to this? Because this seems to be a very slick move that is tough to counter.
Yeah, what I would do is I would say, please list what accomplishments Obama has done for Israel. What gifts has Obama given to Israel in the last 4 years that he deserves this medal? This is like the United Nations. Is like the Nobel Peace Prize given to Obama when he was in office for 2 weeks. I would say, listen, what has he done? He's given Egypt the F-16s and the 200 Abrams tanks.
Well, he gave them the Muslim Brotherhood first.
Well, he built up the Brotherhood in Egypt. When he spoke in Cairo, he demanded of Mubarak
That's right.
that the Muslim Brotherhood be permitted to listen to his speech. He has supported the Palestinian terrorists. He's going to go into Palestine, the area called Palestine now, and he's going to congratulate these people. He's not only going to Israel, he's going to Palestine. But the best thing that Jews could do is say, please explain to me on what basis, what merits pro-Israel that Obama has is he getting this award? Explain it to me. List his accomplishments for Israel. That's all we can do.
What's listed in this, I think we're onto something here. What's listed in this article is the fact that his support for the Iron Dome program and his general
George W.
support.
Bush.
his general support for Israel. So there's no real specifics other than the Iron Dome. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Iron Dome 2007. You're aware of that.
Yep.
George Bush signed a memo of understanding with Israel to fund the Iron Dome project.
I tell
and
you
Obama
what.
I'm sorry?
I just thought of something, Alan. Let me run this by you, because I'll tell you what American Jewish Zionist activists can do. You don't have to even be Jewish. The president of Israel, he's a ceremonial figure. He's always raising money for Jewish charities in Israel and Israel causes and everything else. You know, send us money for trees and orphanages and all this kind of stuff. How about all these activists who send money to Israel send a letter to Shimon Peres instead and say, we're cutting you off?
Well, what you're doing then is you're hurting the Israelis. But Peres is basically senile. You know, the guy is, I think, 90 years old already. He's been a socialist all of his life. He initiated the Oslo Accords in 1987 with the meeting in Madrid, I believe, with the socialists.
That was
he's an about
91, yeah.
All right, I think I have an idea.
Tell me.
Just as we made fun of the award of the Nobel Prize with no merit whatsoever, I think we need to look into this award.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can find that this is a serious award given to serious, if it's a goofball award, then we maybe exploit that.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a serious award, we just compare it to the total absurdity of him getting the Nobel Prize.
Mm-hmm.
So we can maybe use the Nobel Prize absurdity to carry over, and then isolate Peres from Netanyahu. Give Netanyahu a little breathing space. That may be interesting.
You're 100% right. It denigrates the validity of this award, which means that the people who have received this in the past and those worthy people who will receive it in the future will be denigrated by having them say, well, listen, it's like Yasser Arafat getting the Nobel Peace.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay. There may be some room there. All right, we're going to have to wind this down, Alan.
Thank you, babe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
All right.
And actually, there was somebody else on the line who we didn't get to.
All right, sorry about that. Tomorrow,
about
the first hour tomorrow is going to be very, very interesting. We are going to take a look at Ed Koch's gravestone. Ed Koch's gravestone. I did not become aware of this until today. Ed Koch left a message on his gravestone. He just died a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, but he had it made before.
5 years ago. He included on his gravestone the concluding words, the final words in the life of Daniel Pearl, who was beheaded. Daniel Pearl, as he was being beheaded, "Are you Jewish?" they asked him. He said, "My father's Jewish, my mother's Jewish, I am Jewish." Edward Koch put that on there, but then he puts in parentheses underneath. This is on his gravestone, folks, in New York, in Central Park area. Daniel Pearl, 2002, just before he was beheaded by a Muslim terrorist. Ed Koch has engraved on his headstone, on his grave, the fact that he is proud to be a Jew, and he's quoting someone who was beheaded by a Muslim terrorist. This is flipping the liberal left out. Is today Monday?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get out here fast, right? Aren't they? Nobody. We forgot about that.
Waiting, but
we got to go.
We're okay.
So, Mike, start breaking that stuff down. So we're gonna deal with that to lay the groundwork for our second hour with Tuli Woltz, who was blown up by Muslim terrorists in 2006 April. And then we're going to talk about FAU and a whole bunch of interesting things on tomorrow's show. But right now, we got to skedaddle. This is Lou Costello saying goodbye.
And Bud Abbott.
And Bud Abbott. Goodbye. We're out of here.